All right, Gridiron Queensland, thank you for joining us again. Men's division upcoming. I've had a chance to speak to a couple of the coaches beforehand, starting with our visitors today, the Thunder coach, Phil Crick. Mate, second time you've been on Gridiron Queensland TV. Good start of the season. Currently, no L's in that column. You're looking to continue that today?
Yeah, we are. These guys are definitely the team to beat in the league, so, we've got to step up our game tonight, that's for sure.
Mate, sometimes you don't exactly know what you're getting from your team until you play a couple games. What have you learned about your teams over the first couple games of the season?
We're starting to get together with a combination, so I think tonight will be a huge test for us to make sure our combinations are coming together. Got a couple little injuries here and there, so that's going to test us a little bit as well.
Finally, mate, the opposition, a lot of them say they are the class of the competition right now. What do you think their strongest point is?
I think their QB is their strongest point. He's got a quick release and he seems to pick his open receivers quite well. So our D-backs have got to be right on their A game.
Fantastic, Coach Crick. Appreciate your time pre-game.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Coach Booker, two undefeated teams going in today. Obviously, you intend to be the team staying undefeated?
Yeah, I mean, it's always our intention. Anytime we step on the field, we plan to win that game, no matter who we're playing.
Your opposition today, you off camera told me last week that they might be one of the few teams that can keep up with your speed. Is that your opinion changed since last week?
Yeah, breaking them down. They have some fast guys. 42, the running back out of the backfield, is extremely fast. They have 4 imports, I believe, so they can match up speed-wise. It's just going to come down to execution. Same thing as every game. It's boring to always say the same thing, but it's going to come down to who plays harder and who executes.
Last week you had a couple players come back. This week, a couple more players come back. I see that number 5 jersey coming. Johnny Nico back in the game.
I mean, he changes the way that we play defense, not only just in the terms of schematics, but leadership roles. Sebastian Gorton has really stepped up defensively. He's a receiver in the past, and he's going to start at Mike linebacker for us today, controlling the front 6, front 7, depending on how they play. But yeah, just offense, we have an identity. Defense, we need to establish ourselves.
Fantastic. Coach, always appreciate your time. Thank you.
Get him up, get him up.
Week 5.
Get him up, get him up.
Queensland down to the last game here of the men's division. It is the Brisbane Rhinos taking on the Griffith University Thunder. Two teams that have yet to suffer defeat. One of those teams, barring a draw, which I would be very surprised about, will suffer their first L today here, joined by Justin Fernley.
Thank you very much, Kenny, for the introduction. So it should be a very exciting game. I'm very curious to see what the Thunder can bring against the Rhinos. Will this be the first game the Rhinos haven't scored 50 points? Is that correct?
Yeah, they're yet to score any.
3 games, all over 50.
Well, we'll take a look here. You see they're currently at 4-0, and look at that 267, only surrendering 39. The Thunder actually have surrendered less. Of course, they've had the bye week in week 2 here, so technically they boast the best point-scoring defense right now. Ravens trail them at 71. But yeah, that key number is at 267 offensive points.
Yes, that's a fairly dominant display.
So, as we take a look, and before we start this men's comp, let's recap with the women's there. The Ravens, they're still undefeated as of today. They beat the Raptors. The Stingrays and the Thunder drew today, 12 points apiece. And of course, the Raptors, they were the team that went down to the Ravens.
That's the first draw for the season, is it, Kenny?
I believe so. In any of the divisions. It's SEQ, Colts, Stingrays still looking strong. The Ravens trailing them. The Rhinos got a win over the Thunder today. And the Vultures, they played at home against the Spartans. So finally, the juniors, I believe the Spartans went down to Stingrays earlier today. The Rhinos
that's right.
also got up, and the Bengals still trying hard. So it's good to see the junior development happening through. We can see all those guys, to the best of the junior division, playing in the Colts, and vice versa with the 19-year-old eligibility in Colts. Now you see a lot of those guys repping into seniors, so it's helping build that bridge between Colts and seniors. The graduation rate probably not quite where GQ as a total has wanted it to be over the last couple of years.
Yep. Oh, very much. Since the beginning of the Colts competition, Kenny, the transition of guys from the Colts into the seniors has always been somewhat disappointing. It's been a very low percentage, but giving those guys the opportunity to make that transition a little bit easier for them to go from playing in the Colts up to the seniors instead of having to make that big jump immediately. It's going to help the development.
Well, a coin toss is upcoming here for these two teams. Key inactives, just based on what we can see here, one of them is number 58, linebacker and end, Job Amanamoy. Is not kitted up. He's wearing his jersey, but no pads tonight, so he'll be a key loss in the defensive line. But gains for the Rhinos, making his 2018 debut, is number 5, Johnny Nico, making his return to the Rhinos.
Oh, how exciting.
So been at the Stingrays the last couple of seasons, picked himself up a couple Sunballs, including one against the Rhinos 2 seasons ago. But he is back. Its work has kept him out of the game for the first half of the season, but he is playing tonight, and according to the pre-game interview there, changes the way the Rhinos can play defence.
Yeah. Well, he's also a very, very handy option in the offensive backfield.
And then you see
Very
number
good
6
run of the ball.
for the Thunder. You're seeing a number change there. Number 63. That is former representative defensive end Daniel Raybold. He's wearing number 63 tonight, opposed to his 34, which will now be worn by Daniel Wenban, another returning Sun Devil coming back into the fold for the Thunder. So their defense gets even stronger with now, and I believe Louis Barisi, Nada Togafu, and Daniel Wenban flanking the defensive line there. So that is a very athletic defensive front for the Thunder.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the Rhinos have done in terms of getting homework on these changes to the Thunder team, because last week they came out very much a passing team against what I thought at times was a fairly ineffectual Stingrays 4-man rush. I'm not quite sure why you'd spend
that, isn't it?
half the game sending 4 guys against what is obviously a very good pocket passer. So it'll be interesting to see what the Rhinos do with their game plan tonight, whether they choose to keep passing the ball or try to run it a little bit more. But certainly their running options have been a bit light with Tim Carlton, I think, really their only running back option at the moment with some injuries.
Well, last week they were missing Dean Latumahina, who's really their inside runner.
Yep.
So they're definitely a bit flat on that. And of course, both McClam and Parnell are both comfortable jumping into the backfield if they need to. So
Yep.
I'm just trying to foot out, but they've also got number 45, Karen Tenuvasa, who I have yet to see play Gridiron. I've seen him play rugby league for the West Brisbane Panthers. As far as I know, I believe he is a running back, so let's see if he gets involved in the game today as well.
Rhinos do have a few options. They've got a big squad, both teams tonight with very big squads.
Yeah, he was saying himself, and I was speaking to Sean Hunter when he was commentating earlier in the season, that this was a sight you did not see, and you certainly didn't see frequently in Gridiron Queensland. You've got legitimate 35, 40-man squads nowadays.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this season develops, Kenny, given that last year we had 10 teams in the competition. So we're down to 6. Some of those 10 teams had fairly low numbers on their roster at times. So now that we've sort of restructured things back down to 6 teams with hopefully big squads, except I guess probably last year's leading dominant, well, not dominant, I suppose. They did win the Sun Bowl, but they weren't dominant all year, the Stingrays.
Yeah, started off 0-2.
They're down to a handful of players on the sideline when they've got 11 men on the field.
Exactly right. I'm just getting a quick hello there from injured Ravens quarterback Ben Stokes, who's here for a bit of scout work. And, I saw a couple of Ravens here. Obviously, they've got the night off, so they're doing their due diligence. Seeing the contest there. Look at all those captains. Ryan Glasson, Sebastian Gorton, who's getting massive raps from Coach Booker lately. He's actually going to be starting at Mike linebacker tonight. He played defense for the first time last week. Had a heck of a game. Now he's not only that, he's also one of the captains.
Okay. And Phil Carr out there as a captain for the Thunder.
It is a long-term
Phil ex-Bruins back when they existed.
Yeah, he played junior football as well. I played against Phil back in the day. Pretty Phil. We played on the same Sunday.
Yeah, very handy defensive back.
And I also played in number 8 in I knew him as Preacher, but he's Christian Arnold is his full name.
Yep, I know Christian.
Playmaking defensive back. Rich started as a Raven in 2009.
There's certainly some talent on display out there tonight from both squads.
Tommy Corwin, number 12, is a name we will call out a lot as well. Number 89 will be a regular target for him who's out there.
So approximately how many of these Thunder roster would be ex-Wildcat players, Kenny?
Oh, I don't want to speculate because I can only sort of do the general test, but I'd say there's a close to a 35, maybe pushing 40%.
Yep, I thought it might be about that much.
That's why they've affectionately, not officially, but affectionally around the league been renamed as the Thundercats.
Yes.
Which some have embraced, some prefer to retain the name Thunder.
Well, it's a fantastic opportunity for marketing.
Yeah.
Could be some copyright issues involved, but
I don't think I'll be able to help myself tonight. The name will come out at some point. Speaking about other defensive guys, and defense will be the first thing we see for the Rhinos as they're getting back to kick off. Number 25, Gossen Kaniki. has lit it up every time the Rhinos have been on GQ TV so far. I don't imagine that will change today. Also returning is lineman Jack Hannum for the Rhinos, who's served his suspension time. He's now back in the game, and he looks like he's ready to hit somebody.
So, Nata Togafu, is he a returning player, did you say?
Returning player indeed. Played at the Queensland level as well. Started off at the Bruins, then found himself at the Ravens, moved to the Wildcats, and because of that, now is with the Thunder.
Quite the journeyman.
Indeed he is. I'm excited personally to see him play
They're
again.
very set for a very short kickoff.
Well, they know the Rhinos.
That's going dead.
And they'll happily let that
On the fall.
go.
Maybe that's why they were up so short.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, the Rhinos, anyone who's been watching the footage, they've had a bunch of creative ways to get the ball back on kickoff. So I think they would happily let that ball sail at the back rather than give up a possession.
That's probably a good decision.
But what that means is that we will be seeing the Thunder offense led out by Tommy Corwin, who I had a chance to speak to in on the air for the BFM team, Sports Team Talk this morning. And he talked about how he is very happy with his receiving core. Singled out Tristan Back as quite possibly the best Australian wide receiver out there right now. Tristan Back, who I've mentioned before, has been picked up by Snow College, the JUCO over there in America, and they've actually said he can serve his first year back in Australia. He'll be back there next off-season. Tommy Corwin, along with running back Sean Duddy, start this game. And we've got a false start, and it's by one of the more experienced wide receivers. It's import wide receiver Leon Moody, who's rocking the hoodie under jersey look this week.
Who is playing centre for the Thunder, Kenny?
I believe it'll be Tavita Moala. Who do you think should have let that go?
Well, I'd had a golden opportunity. He had three guys in the neutral zone, and he just sat there with the ball in his hand. It's probably a good way nice easy way to get 5 yards. Unfortunately, instead of that, they got pushed back 5 yards.
Indeed they did. So starting off first and 15. Ball on their own 16. 15, my apologies. These safeties, including Johnny Nico, very, very shallow right now for the Rhinos.
Thunder line showing pass.
And they will give it to Sean Doherty. Doherty's got space early. Look at him go! First play taken down by Parnell. But we spoke in pre-game off the air. Is he fast or is he just faster than the average Joe? I think he just confirmed on that play.
Yeah.
Doherty is fast.
That was a lovely run. And he found that hole very nicely. Big step off the left foot.
And chased down by a fast Devontre Parnell. I don't think anyone else on that team might have caught him.
Well, there's no shame in being run down by Devontre.
He's proven he's got a set of wheels himself. Huge play for the Thunder to start off this game.
Sean will be happy with that.
Ball now on the 36. Corwin for his first pass attempt. He'll roll out to the left and complete a short pass. The Rhinos right there, though, might have made a yard out of it. A little moving the pocket. We saw a bit of this against the Stingrays last week. What do you make of it, Justin?
Moving the pocket over to the left, give Tommy some extra time, a bit of more room. Look, it's a good idea with Tommy. He throws very well on the run, both to the left and to the right. If anything, the only downside is it might tire out the offensive line a little bit, but we'll see how they go as the game progresses. It's always a bit of a risk.
This is quite an underrated offensive line. It's a very experienced one. Doesn't have a whole lot of huge names in, but definitely has some recognizable ones, and they've been doing the job so far. Darting the backfield again. But they will pass. It's a deep drop. Will they set up a screen? They hits the back of a lineman. And he couldn't quite find Darty amongst all that action, and he gets the ball away, incomplete, brings up a 3rd and 10.
Well, he's only a little fella. He should probably jump up and down a little bit more. Over here.
Well, they're the dangerous ones, because if you can get the ball to him, he's got a whole bunch of big linemen in front of him in open space, and usually that's a
I
big
don't think
play.
anyone on the defense read that.
Fortunately, one of the pros of having a big, tall defensive line.
Yep.
Tom McCall, not the tallest of quarterbacks. Probably sits around 6 foot. Moves Darty off to the right, probably for pass protection. Now everyone's getting their own signal. No, they're waiting on the referee to signal the play in.
Tommy looking to number 7 on this play, I'd say.
Yeah, Moody, he's made some plays.
There it
He's
is.
going long, and you called it. I'm in the booth with Tony Romo. Unfortunately, it's not Tony Romo making that pass. That falls incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down. Let's see what they do with this situation.
Because
Because
nice coverage by the cornerback. He didn't give him much.
yeah, it was good coverage, Parnell. DBs watching home. That's exactly how you hold but not hold a wide receiver in coverage.
Mind you, though, if I could pick that, who's number 7? Leon.
Leon Moody.
If I can pick Leon was going to get it, then Devontre probably picked it as well.
We've got two great athletes, 2 collegiate athletes going each other when those two match up. All right, now we're seeing trips out to the right-hand side. Moody's in the middle of those trip set. They choose to punt it, and it's a weird punt, and it's touched someone, and wisely
Wow.
tackled right there, and also corralled by Ntumbwe. So an interesting play there. We talked about funky business earlier in the last game about the situation there. They let Corwin take a bit of a pooch punt. I haven't seen that done since the Super Bowl. Steelers taking on the Seahawks, where Big Ben.
Well, I've never seen that done, Kenny, and I'm still wondering what exactly they were trying to do.
Well, I think what it does is that they don't have them in the punting situation. The quarterback can sort of generally punt them away with a short punt to get field position, but didn't quite get the job done there, but
No,
nonetheless.
I think it might have shanked it off the outside of his right foot.
1st down for this Rhinos offense. No points in the first drive for the Thunder, ends in a punt. Here comes Christian Strong, Cheyenne James in motion, and they will go the speed option. We haven't seen a whole lot of run game. Cheyenne James gets a great pitch. He stands up to safety. He gets downfield. No one is in
he's
pursuit
gone.
except for Garrett Griffith, who takes him
lovely.
down by the ankles. Import on talent right there. Cheyenne
Well, we had an option
James.
read, and then the speed option. That was like 3 options in one.
Plus the block there by McClam, which really gets him down the field, and it's Garrett Griffith.
Number 2, Garrett Griffith.
Has got a host of European experience behind him. He also serves as the DC for this team.
Okay. Well, nice job on that play. Saved a touchdown.
He's checking off now, potentially. Strong, he's still got a bunched out to his right-hand side. He'll throw to that bunch now. He'll change it, go to the left. Has got a touchdown to Henson, who went up there and got that ball over Mike Jones.
I'm still not quite sure how he did that, but it was a lovely catch.
Well, he had forever to throw. Looks to his right, checks it off.
Thomas Hansen.
And Hanson, Rookie of the Year last year in the Colts division.
He's just.
He loves it. And that's
I think Mike will be disappointed on that. He pretty much
look
did
at
everything
this.
right.
We saw this a bit last week, and they've come back to it. It's Eddie Kokwa, their kicker, now technically playing quarterback with a swinging gate out to the left. They'll check that off, and it looks like they'll go back to a kick, or is it? They've got so much funky stuff on their special teams that I am not sure what to expect right now. And looks like they'll save any funkiness for a later day. They add the extra point here. Kokwa adds his first PAT of the day.
Well, certainly from what we've seen of the Rhinos so far this season, trickery is what they're all about. They like to keep defenses guessing.
And
Kick return teams especially keep them guessing.
something you don't have to guess about is where to spend your grand final. NRL and AFL grand finals coming. Why not spend it at the Sporting Globe over at Westfield Chermside? Check out what deals they have available at thesportingglobe.com.au/grand final. Mac, kick returning. How was your drive down from the coast this morning, mate? For those who don't know, you reside on the sunny coast?
No, Bundaberg.
Bundy?
Bit
Oh, geez,
further
a bit
north
further
than
than
the
that.
sunny
Wow.
coast.
There you
Nice
go.
little 4.5, 5 hour jaunt down from Moore Park, to be precise.
There you go. Jeez.
So that was a good drive, not too much roadworks. A couple of grey nomads held me up in class, but nevertheless, it worked out pretty well.
I appreciate you coming and joining us on Gridiron Queensland TV, mate.
That's a great opportunity, Ken. Glad to be a part of it.
7-0.
Get to watch a game and to put my 5 cents worth in as well.
Best seat of the house, especially here at Franklin. Kokwa, who just kicked the PAT. He's back to kick it off.
Got their deep man in this time.
Yeah, it's, I believe that's Christian Arnold back to return.
It's going to...
And we'll
Yeah,
hold
it's
up,
gone.
it will bounce out again. And Ernest Moore. Oh, hang on. I don't think we saw it on camera here, but Ernest Moore and number 34, which is Daniel Wenban. Two talented players there going at it after the play. Wenban extends his hand out to shake to sort of like say good stuff, and Ernest Moore didn't want to borrow it. So
Hey, it's only the first quarter. Leave that stuff till the second or third.
The sight game is on. This is Wembann's first game here back in 2018. First game for the Thunder. Is known as being a big hitter. Laid out, I believe it was Liam Edwards last year on Wildcats TV. It was a beauty of a hit. First down and 10 here for Tommy Corwin and co. 2 in the backfield this time. There'll be a fake. They're looking for the play action pass over the middle for Moody. He'll throw this ball away. Couldn't quite get the look he wanted. Incomplete pass.
Oh yeah, Johnny Nico's in.
Yeah, playing at safety. I'm used to seeing him play at linebacker or inside the box. This time, a little deeper than usual.
He's a very versatile player. As I said, I'm a big fan of his work in the offensive backfield. He's a great runner of the ball. I don't think he's even got any particular preference about where he plays. He just loves being out there and doing whatever he's got to do.
He's learned a lot of his time under Frankie Passamani, who we learned off of the last couple of seasons. Now he's back at linebacker, play action pass. Corwin looking for the flat. And Gordon lays the wood. Pass is complete for a short gain. Sneaky play action pass.
I don't know what defensive backfield Tommy's looking at, but the one I'm looking at on that play, they had absolutely no one deep in the secondary. They had their right wide receiver on a short post, and they've thrown to the left flat. Not a particularly good read from Tommy, from what I could see, but they might have been thinking about something else.
Corkett was the reception man on that play. 3rd and long, looking at about 3rd and 8. And a false start. That's going to be 3rd and a bit longer. Corkett and company caught moving early down the left-hand flank.
Coach Phil Crick would be having kittens. 3rd and 8, and they give up 5. Ouch.
Well, there's number 45, Tanavasu. I thought he'd be playing running back. He's actually playing on the defensive side of the ball. Now, you were a wide receiver there. How many times did you jump offside in your...
Oh, never, Kenny. Never.
Never. What's Paul Romaniak now jumping around the box, or more of these Ravens? See Shane Prosser in the background.
Here we go.
He's offering a third quarter interview, which after that pass is overthrown there. That'll bring up 4th down. The Thunder will have to go 3 and out on this play. That pass intended downfield.
I only ever false started as a tactical maneuver, Kenny, to lull the defensive secondary into a false sense of security. That's my story anyway.
Now, you played a lot of, obviously, receiver in your time. That was, your bread and butter for a lot of your career. These receivers, how much pressure is on the Thunder receivers right now to compete with the offensive output that this Rhinos offense has been putting out for the first couple of weeks of the season?
There's a lot of pressure on them to do their job. It's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, they want to be out there playing football, but the opportunity to do that against the quality defensive backfield that the Rhinos have.
A shank of a punt right there. And, we're here, Poison. Did a Rhino player touch that? Because the Thunder have picked up the ball, and there is a significant possibility that the Rhinos have touched this and allowed a fresh set of downs for the Uni Thunder. Well, that's the returner there and McLean, but right there has number 46 for the Rhinos, Zachary Wiggins. And we're going to try and slow this down and get the best look we can. I would like to say, do we see a red or black boot?
Number 45.
46 here,
46,
Wiggins.
is it?
And we can't really make it out from that. There's a whole bunch of legs amongst there. Regardless, they've said no. And the Rhinos are back on attack.
No, there's no contact there.
Short pass out to McLean. Fortunately, nothing big happening there. Just a short pass out of flat to McLean. Picks up about 3 yards. Looking at 2nd and 7 now for the Rhinos.
So as I was saying, it's a great opportunity for these guys to go up against quality defensive backs. And I think...
And as we see, this next play, it's an incomplete pass, but a loud bang can be heard all the way here in the clubhouse, and both players are down.
That's 2 Thunder players, is it?
I think there's one right. No, you're right. 2 Thunder players. Friendly fire.
Yes.
can't quite make out who they are. One of them.
You got me, Josh?
Well, neither are moving. I think one of them might be Garrett Griffith, the free safety and defensive coordinator of this team. The other one is the Jones twin and Corey.
Judging by their reaction, I think it's a head clash.
This is two key players here. With the receiving core they've taken on right now, the Thunder can't really afford to lose either of these two players.
Well, at least one of them's up and about.
Phil Crick, head coach there, now having a look at his downed player. We might take a short break here. Once again, the sportingglobe.com.au/grand final for a fantastic place to watch your upcoming grand finals of any sport, really. The NFL season's here. Want to pop down there on a Monday, Tuesday, or a Friday to see the action in style. Well,
He's okay, folks.
Yeah, he's up, and so Griffith's gone down, and Jones has also made his way to the sideline. So they'll be looking for some substitutions right now. There's the Rhinos huddle.
Number 2 off to the head bin, I'd say.
Yeah, Griffith is going to get looked over under the tent right now, but still barking instructions to the rest of his defense, who are
He'll be going off for a HIA.
definitely going to miss his presence. Here's a matchup.
He's already made one big play so far today.
I wish I had one of the old Madden drawing screens here, the Magic Pen, because the matchup between Wemban and McClam, that might be a bit of a speed matchup there. Wemban's definitely more of a power athlete than a speedman. Mike Jones there.
Well, it's a obvious mismatch. If you're a quarterback, you've got to see that and react to it.
Oh, just confirm, I didn't see it, but there was a flag thrown on that last play, and evidently it looks like it's on the Rhinos. Just got our officials looking over it.
Because normally I assume Garrett Griffith would be the guy sliding over there to cover Jarvis.
Or would at least be behind him in free safety, but right now it popped in is Christian Arnold, back deep.
Christian Arnold, yeah.
He might have been someone who matched up with McClam. Right now, let's see how Wemban goes with him. In motion, so he runs away from him. They're going to try and set up a backside screen to James. James makes a move, cuts upfield, and is taken down by the defensive tackle.
Nice hustle from 72.
On our team sheet, who I'm just double checking, he's one who's missing. I'm going to double check all our team list. I've been given a whole bunch of last minute changes by the Thunder.
He's not on mine. He's today's mystery lineman.
Oh, it's a shame. I'd love to be giving you props.
That's a hell of an effort to come from defensive tackle to cut down that screen.
And neither of our team lists, unfortunately. 3rd and long. McClam in motion again, this time behind the play. How will they use him? They'll use him as an option, but
got a flag.
Strong's looking deep. He's got his receiver. The catch is made, but flags have been thrown back near the line of scrimmage.
Christian Strong being a little bit more mobile tonight. Not afraid to roll around and roll out.
Pass is completed to Hanson, who's got a touchdown so far on the day.
Nice catch too. Hands out in front, away from the DB. Keeps his body, gets separation from his hands and the DB. Nice work. Obviously a sign of a experienced wide receiver.
I believe he might have only been his 2nd year, Hanson.
Okay.
He's taken some
Good
huge
work.
strides from year 1 to 2. All of a sudden, he was only a Colt last year.
Okay. Nice catch.
And we're seeing a bit of false start action on the Rhinos. That play won't count. And they will move back another 5 yards. Real discipline, digging them in a deeper and deeper hole. And it looks like Corey Jones is back on the back at his left cornerback position.
Of course, Rhinos head coach John Booker named as the head coach of the Queensland Sun Devils Colts
Under-19s,
team.
Indeed.
During the week.
Side, which I think, maybe some mixed opinions on it. I think a coach has come down here to try and lend his knowledge. I think it's a good opportunity for that to spread well beyond the Rhinos.
Yeah.
And here we go. Strong looking, long.
Oh,
He's got him and lost
lovely
him.
catch.
A huge hit over the middle by Christian Preacher Arnold. Wow. We're going to see some hits tonight. Pass intended for number 12.
Well, the crowd certainly enjoyed that, Kenny.
Hokianga Tanawa.
I think
Yeah, well, he's up. He's got his helmet off and he's smiling. So he just acknowledged he took a hit. He'll just compose himself, get back out there and go catch another. It's 4th down, though. They really dug themselves into a deep hole there. They had to go deep, and good defense there by Arnold to keep him off the field.
well, we have 2 number 12s for the Thunder on the list tonight.
Yep, indeed. They yeah.
Tommy Corwin and Julius Trago.
Yeah, Traeger, I don't believe is on playing tonight. So
Okay.
it'll just be Corwin, but there is 2 number 1s on the Rhinos.
Yes.
Well, they've got the kicker and the clam.
And there's nothing wrong with that as long as they're on the field at the same time. Is that right, Kenny?
Exactly right. And we've seen a delay of game, so 3 penalties on this drive against the Rhinos. So this will bless the Griffith Uni Thunder with some fantastic field position.
Well, it's a fairly inauspicious start to the second series. This is the second series from the Rhinos.
He scored a touchdown on the first one. And now James Calishaw is gonna send
4th
somebody off.
and what is that?
4th and
20,
Toowoomba, mate.
32.
21 yards is the official count. Sebastian Gorton back down to punt. Good snap. And it'll be a line driving punt spinning in the air. It'll be hard to return. It's out of bounds.
It's out in the full.
So it's actually a decent punt. Gets him out of a bit of trouble. This ball will be marked out at the 31-yard line, I believe.
Thunder get another opportunity to give the ball to Sean Duddy to get some big yardage.
Well, that's exactly right. One play last drive. Exploded into the defensive backfield.
And that was it. That's all he got. Did the job on one play, and that's all Sean was going to get.
Hope you're enjoying the music being played behind us today from out of the bar. And another shout out to Impact Sports, your leading shop retailer in Australia. If you're in need for pads, helmets, or anything Gridiron related, check them out at sales at impactsportsaus.com. Shoot them an email and they will get back to you ASAP. First down, ball on the 31-yard line. Tommy Corwin and Sean Darty in the backfield. Pass play. Corwin patient, now looking downfield. I thought he had a man in Robbie Corkett, the state tight end, but it falls incomplete. Out of his hands, 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Well, I'm a little dumbstruck here, Kenny. The Rhinos are coming out with nobody deeper than maybe 4 or 5 yards off the ball, and they're sending 2 streak patterns. You've got to put a post pattern in there.
Try to get over the top of
You've got to
him.
take advantage of the fact there's no one home deep.
But what does that say? It sounds like they're playing him short and playing some strict man coverage. What does that say about the confidence that Booker has in his defense?
Oh.
He is happy to let them man up and
Seems
take away the run.
Thunder have to exploit that.
Moody and Parnell on the side of the screen. Let's see if that explodes into something. This will be a run from Corwin. Corwin will call his own number. Picks up a couple of yards. That'll make it a slightly more manageable 3rd down. Corwin, who's impressed me the last couple of weeks about how athletic he really is.
He's a good athlete. I saw a little bit of him playing last year with the Sun Devils and with the Wildcats. And
Well,
he's got a nice strong arm. He's got good feet.
He told me this morning that he still doesn't believe he's that much of an athlete. He just knows how to read defenses, and he thinks his ability to cut back just makes him look a lot faster than he really is.
He gets the job done well. I think he's got to have a little bit more patience. Just do some pre-snap reads a little bit more. But again, no one deep for the Rhinos.
Plenty of experience out of the University of Central Missouri. Rolling out
He
to his
rolls
left
out to
again,
the left.
and it is a
First down.
first down. And that pass was completed to number 6, Chris Pope, for his first target of the day.
He had a very productive game against the Stingrays 2 weeks ago. Was it
Yes,
last week?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Out there at Griffith University.
Oh, no, up down at the Gold Coast.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Yep.
And, they're 2 different sort of athletes, though, Pope and Moody, in many ways. One likes to stretch the field. The other one is better after the run.
Yeah, very good YAC, as they call it.
Get all yards after
Chris Pope.
catch, or if you're a running back, yards after contact. First down and 10 after that first down play. They'll fake to Dottie. They'll throw the missile screen over the middle to cork it.
Nice hit.
Look, developed nicely, but got shut down awfully quick.
Number
Gorton.
6 from Sebastian Gorton.
And once again, a former tight end. He's moved to the defensive side of things after starting the season injured, and has just hit the ground running.
Again, that was a nice tackle. Now, a lot of the guys, a lot of linebackers, especially when they're new to defense, they see things as a good opportunity to put a big smack on someone and forget about form tackling, but he stayed low, around the waist, held him up and stopped him in his tracks.
2nd and 8. Ball currently in the Rhinos 44, which technically puts them 1 yard away from halfway. And they will cross halfway with a pitch and catch. Picks up a couple of yards, but it's a good tackle on the other end of it.
And this is what the Thunder need to do. They need to wear down the Rhinos and just chip away 5-6 yard gains all the time. And against a team like the Rhinos that have a lot of confidence and aren't used to people making yards against them, that will start to erode their confidence a bit, mix up their defense, force them to do things differently. And when you can start getting a defense to do that, that's when you can start to dominate it.
That was a good tackle there from Manuel Carper at the end of that last play. 3rd down and short. They've got about 2 yards to go. Oh, and it's a false start by Darty. Hasn't been picked up.
I'll call it motion, Kenny. I'd call that motion.
Look at Corwin just fight his way forward for a first down and more. He was trapped in that phone booth and somehow found a way to get out.
The cape has come out.
Wow.
Nice bit of work on the sideline here.
And also good boxing out from the receiver there. That's how you block without actually blocking.
Leon Moody, just being a nice little shield.
I have to admit, I think they got away with one there. Darty to me, definitely.
Oh, no, definitely motion. That's classic running back motion there.
Oh, we'll let that one slide then, I guess. The first down there by the scramble by Corwin. First down, fresh set of downs now. And a give to Darty. Darty gets shut down. Running there behind the right guard. Trying to find some space there behind right guard number 62, Alan Billy. The Thunder out without another key and active for the Thunder is Cameron Helbig, who is, congratulations again to him, I mentioned in the Colts game, had his first child this weekend.
Oh, so. Congratulations, Cameron. Cameron, an ex-teammate of mine at the Spartans and the Bears.
Yeah, he was Helbig back then as well. And they're going over the middle for Pope, and it is defended nicely by Ntumbwe, who is making play after play as the weeks go by.
I must say, Kenny, defenders in GQ these days are a much nicer bunch of people than they were back in my day.
Yeah.
Sean Darty's very attractive pink towel would have lasted about one play
and it would have
back when I was playing running back.
Disappeared to the abyss. You're probably right, actually. Let's see if someone takes it for a trophy.
They're far too polite.
I have to admit, as a running, why do you need it, mate?
I'm quite sure, but it's a nice bit of accessorising.
Corwin looking over the middle, will throw to the corner route. He's got it! And he's just short of the end zone, but he's got a fresh set of downs inside the 5. The Thunder completing a pass to number 6, Chris Pope.
This has been a very good drive from the Thunder. A very, very impressive drive. They've moved the ball around left to right, all over the field. I'd still like to see them working that middle a lot more. It's an untapped gold mine.
Especially with, you're right, how shallow they're choosing to play their safeties right now. So the Thunder with an opportunity to try and tie things up. They've got their first goal line opportunity. First time in the red zone today, here in the first quarter. Approximately 3 minutes remaining. Darty with a fullback this time. And they will give it to him. They'll try to trust him to get the first score of the day. He gets taken down in a good TFL by number 21, I believe. It might be Stockman.
I would have liked to have seen the Thunder try to punch down a little bit more than that.
This is a situation where a running back like Darty, who's definitely more of a scat back or a speed receiving back, you kind of wish you just had a big oil tanker to drive it in.
Yep. Yeah, I have no idea what options the Thunder have got in the backfield, but That's not to say a smaller back can't get the touchdown in that situation.
How much would be the young Colt we saw earlier, Owani, number 99 in the Colts game? How handy he's coming right now. He's big enough to handle this.
Yep. That'd be a good opportunity for him. I thought that field position would have been a better opportunity to use a speed option. Use the fact that Corwin from that range is a real threat to punch it in himself and have Darty outside him as the outside speed option.
So I think there might have been a flag against the Rhino on that last one. I didn't see the flag. So that's given the
to the left. Speed option to the left. They won't run it, but they should.
Let's see if they've heard you. No, they won't. They'll try to zing this one over the middle. It's incomplete. Flag's thrown on the near side sideline. It was a big battle going down.
See again, Kenny. They've got that side of the field stacked with defense, and they throw it to that side.
He wanted Chris Pope on the slant. Couldn't quite get it. But there is a flag, and it's against the Rhinos.
Ooh.
So another half distance to the goal. They'll be breathing on the goal line at this point. The center will have his nose over the end zone.
Thomas
Pacina.
Defensive coordinator for the Rhinos, will not be happy at the moment.
Not at all. Let's see if he's found a way to try and get momentum back here. We've seen some pretty impressive goal line stands today across all the divisions. Under center, Tommy Corwin. Early time he does that is when he sneaks, and he has snuck his way for a Thunder touchdown. 7-6, the scoreline now here at Franklin Oval.
That was actually more yards than I thought he had to get. It was a good effort. Nice drive from the Thunder line.
And that should have been some homework right there. Corwin hates getting under center. The only time he does it is when he's got a touchdown waiting for him.
It was considering, as you say, that's his favourite move when he gets under center. It was a very poor reaction from the Rhinos defence.
So we'll see a tied ball game here.
This makes things interesting, Kenny. Very interesting.
It's a bad snap. Jonesy's going to have to try and improvise. He can't get it done. And like that, the tackle by Parnell preserves the lead here for the Rhinos. They take a narrow 7-6 lead into their next possession. Long snappers. Got to get that snap down. Who's that? Was that on the long snap or is that on the hold there in your eyes there?
Sorry, Kenny, what was the question?
Was that mistake? Is that on the holder or is that on the long snapper?
That's on the snapper.
There you go, Mike Jones. You've been given a pass here from Fernley.
It's all good, Mike.
Mike Jones. He's trying to talk to someone.
As I touched on, Kenny, that was a really, really well put together drive from the Thunder. I don't know who's calling their plays. Their offense coordinator is Jordan Clements. He's got lots of experience.
He does. He's between himself and quarterback Thomas Corwin, they've had to, establish their relationship, and obviously it's producing a pretty good one with the way things are going right now.
If they keep doing that, I mean, there's two ways looking at it. As I've said and harped on, they seem to be ignoring taking advantage of the fact the Rhinos don't have anyone down the deep middle. The only thing I can think is maybe they're trying to spread them even more to the outside because he's really peppered that outside patterns with the Thunder receivers.
Maybe that's the Rhinos' homework, saying that no matter what, he wants to go to those sidelines, and they're like, well, we don't need to put anyone down the middle.
Yeah.
So that's it's a courageous but possibly smart call there from Coach Booker, if that's the case. This ball is sent down the middle and into the arms of McLam. Watch out. He follows blocks out to the side. He's got an open man. Oh, puts on a move there. Takes it out of bounds there and is hit. It didn't seem, I have to admit, yes, he hits him and is probably warranted of a penalty, but it didn't seem malicious.
That was soft, Kenny. That's a soft penalty. I don't exactly know what the penalty's for yet, but...
Well, I think we'll see right here. What a move there on the outside. He's just trying to slow himself down.
There was nothing in it. There was nothing in that.
I'm glad it didn't go towards anything more than that, but they will pick up an extra 15 yards provided this flag isn't waved off. A bit of a breeze picked up here since the back end of the Colts game.
Who was the returner on that?
It was, I believe it was Jarvis McLam. The breeze coming in from the north side of the Franklin Oval.
I don't know what Jarvis majored in when he went to college, but I've got a feeling he might have done a little bit of drama work.
Bit of theatre.
Taken a very impressive dive there.
Let's take a
Fairly
look again. eh?
realistic.
Well, if you think it's a dive, mate, how about you give me a score out of 10?
Look, for degree of difficulty, I'd give it probably a 5. In terms of execution, that's a solid 9.5. He's gone backwards exactly the right angle and speed.
Well, they're going to get the
He's
penalty. He's
managed
done
to
the
pick
job.
up the 15 yards. That's a job well done by Jarvis.
Oh, wait a minute. And sportsmanlike conduct on the Rhinos as well, so we could be offsetting penalties here.
I think perhaps the official didn't take kindly to the Rhino sideline trying to tell him how to do his job.
Yeah, so offsetting penalties here. So ultimately, no one's the wiser after that discretion, except for you viewers at home who had to listen to us for an extra 2 minutes.
Coach Booker's not real happy about the decision.
Neither is Jarvis McClam, it appears. Oh, well,
I think
Rhinos.
that's a good result in the end.
I agree. Ball on the just shy of the 40. We'll call it the 40. Tim Carlton put into motion. McClam now put into motion. And he's given the ball on the end around with plenty of space to work with. He's showing off his moves once again, and he is thrown over the Thunder sideline. If anything, that seemed a little more auspicious than the last one. Oh, props to Carlton for copping that.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, Kenny. If they're going to penalise anything or have a chat to somebody, that's probably the place to do it.
Well, I said he wouldn't have been on the field, but it looks like Julius Trejo is on the field playing inside and Mike linebacker for the Thunder. Laying a leg on Carlton on that play. McClam in motion once more. This time it's a give to Carlton.
Yeah, I think
Carlton will get his first running attempt. He lowers the shoulder, flags are down. Possibly another flag at the back end
I
of
think
that.
they've got Tim for a little bit of movement before the snap.
He'll feel a bit hard done by considering Darty's missed call.
Oh, we
earlier.
can't have 2 men in motion. There
Yeah,
it is,
there it
2
is.
men in motion. You can't do that.
Well, you can have multiple players, but you can't have it at the action of the snap. You have to stop for a full second and have
That's
everyone
right.
reset. It's the difference between a motion and a shift. So I think we might see a couple different calls here.
Actually, a little bit baffled by how that even eventuated, given that the fact that the motion man was right in front of Tim. Oh, they've let it go.
Rightio. Okay then. Play ball.
Wow. Wow.
Looking at 2nd and 5 then. Fair play. I guess missed call for missed call, right?
Yeah.
Evening it out.
What do I know?
Mike Jones, is he blitzing? No, he's not.
Give Tim
It's going to
again.
be give to Carlton. Carlton's found some space, and he is not afraid of contact.
wow.
Oh, ho, ho.
You can't do that.
Oh, wow. Let's take a look. Carlton.
That's going to be a 15-yarder, Kenny.
And just for they're going to. Was it that way? I guess he was down.
No, I think it was a helmet, a face
Maybe not.
mask. Can't really see it from that angle.
Or I think we're about to get a call.
This angle would be good.
Yep, there it is. So 15 yards, automatic first for the Rhinos.
Ouch.
So after, that's the end of the first quarter, so they're going to switch sides. So after digging themselves into a hole with penalties last drive, this time they are moving down the field with penalties.
Well, I'm a little surprised by this scoreline, Ken.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Next week's schedule as we take a break here for the first quarter. Week 6 will be at Griffith University, Nathan campus. Starting at 1:30, we will see the Griffith University Thunder taking on the Raptors from Moreton Bay. And at 6:30 p.m., we will see the Griffith Uni Thunder once more. They will be taking on the Bayside Ravens. Well, a lot of which of those are here tonight here at Franklin Oval. A bunch of them coming up and saying hello, trying to tell me that they'll kindly offer their services a third quarter for a third quarter interview.
Doing a little bit of scouting the Ravens tonight.
Did they,
Backing up the quality live stream.
Well, on the GQ live stream, we are into the second quarter of this Week 5 men's division matchup where the Rhinos lead 7 points to 6, but they're in position to add to that.
Mobile grandstand just going past at the moment.
Strong gives it to Carlton. Carlton this time shut down behind the line of scrimmage.
So So we do have a 99 in the game from the Thunder tonight.
Dude, it's Sam Leota. Famous representative Wildcat. 3 receivers spread out to the open side of the field. Carlton move to the left and they'll play action pass
There
it.
he is.
They're going over the middle and McClam's got himself a score and quite possibly a flag, but I can't see any yellow on the field. Regardless, McClam doesn't mind. He's got 6 points.
I think they'll let that go. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to know where you are on the field when you make these tackles. There was nothing too malicious in it.
It was beautifully put down there. It was Christian Arnold who laid a good lick earlier, and that's McClam. He's got countless touchdowns this season. And once again, in this funky situation, Kokwa, he's going to turn into a quarterback, throw over the middle, have it intercepted by Trejo. Don't tell me Trejo's going to go 99 yards. He's going to take it down and just cop the intercept to his stat
I
sheet.
think he ran out of puff after 2.
And Kokwa, well, he is 1 pass attempt, 1 intercept. Maybe he'll stick to kicking moving
Well, at
forward.
least it was complete, Kenny. We'll give him that much.
However, what they've done is they've let the Thunder get away with their missed PAT attempt there. So the scoreline will be 13 points to 6.
Let's see what Thunder can do. Can they come back and even it up?
And as we get ready for the kickoff,
It's going to be an interesting drive. I'm very curious to see what Tommy comes out and does this drive. It'll be a repeat of the previous one, or they might start running it a little bit more.
as we get ready for the next kickoff, why don't you kick off your grand final at the Sporting Globe? Check out their office at thesportingglobe.com.au/grand final.
Thunder with only one return guy deep. I find that a little strange. I guess most of the time Eddie's going to kick it dead, but at least having two guys deep, you've got more field coverage back there where he can kick to consistently. And he tends to work the sidelines a bit.
Eddie Cocker, who's one of the only true real kickers in the league, goes back a lot deeper than most. Here's Pope with a kick return. He's looking up for space down the right-hand side. The kick coverage is good by the Rhinos.
Ran out of room.
The Thunder now, they'll start their drive just inside the 30. Oh,
He's got some nice moves, Chris, but he didn't really use too many on that return.
And Tombwe, throwing him everywhere right now. Trailing by.
So yeah, a little bit surprised by the scoreline at the end of the first quarter. Rhinos didn't take long in the second quarter to extend their lead a bit more, but I just felt coming into this game the Rhinos had dominated a little bit more, so it's good to see the Thunder putting up a good fight.
Yeah, trailing by 7 points right now, however. Moody in motion, and they'll give it to Darty. Darty will be taken down there by Joe Tuamababe. Long-time Rhino getting a tackle on the stat sheet.
I seem to recall it might have been the Thunder against the Stingrays game. You're commenting on Darty tending to hit the line a little slower. You quoted someone about...
Slow two, fast through?
Yeah, I personally believe that someone of Darty's stature needs to hit that line a lot faster because he's not going to break those tackles in the backfield.
Well, this one is caught underneath. And making a catch there, I believe, is a 90 number in Kayo Silva.
He's not going to break those tackles in the backfield moving at three-quarter pace. He needs to hit that line at speed and know where that hole's going to be before he actually gets to it.
Kayo Silva registering his first catch of the game. Third down. And 3 ahead for Tommy Corwin. They need a drive here because the Rhinos, they'll happily go score to score. Go score for someone.
Well, that's what we hope.
Yeah, you get caught more than a couple touchdowns behind against the Rhinos, you're in trouble. They're in hard count territory. Let's see if Corwin tries to use his wits to get him offside. Not the case. He'll roll out to the right. He's in pursuit from Moore. He throws it long and gets Pope on the deep crossing route.
Tommy's having a great game. He's finding his receivers well. He's rolling out nicely. He's got a lot of confidence. And that's what you want in a game like this. You don't want your quarterback second-guessing everything he does.
Oh, he protected his quarterback there. The Copper put Ernest Moore, allowed Corwin to get out there and make that pass. Fresh set of downs here for the Thunder now. 1st and 10, ball on their own 44. This time it'll be a give, no reverse with Corwin now leading there for Moody.
That's
Can
enough.
Moody make any moves? They get it. Remember, picked up 4 yards there. A little razzle-dazzle, but probably not the game-breaking play.
Lots of yards for a 4-yard game, but hey, 4 yards is good enough. Eats up a bit of the clock.
I thought Corwin might have jumped out there to spring a block. I think he
Oh, I'd like to see these boys put their shoulders down a bit more, Kenny, and take some people on.
lower the pad level.
Yeah.
I think that's something that Colton's probably doing well. He's had about 4 carries.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
had to finish it off lowering those pads.
Timmy's not afraid to put a bit of a hit on people.
It actually picked up a few more yards than we gave it credit for. Picked up about 6 yards on that. We've got 2nd and 4 now. So he did Colin. Getting told 2nd and 6, my name.
Tommy's
Awful looking 6.
not real impressed by that call.
There. He wanted the free play there.
What is the call? We've got flags on both sidelines. Discussion time.
Call, just an update before we get this call. I'm just getting the update here that the Vultures have defeated the Raptors for their first win of the year, 18 points to 16.
Possible battle for the wooden spoon there this year.
Congratulations to the men's Vultures. And their defense will be pinged for offside there, so by my count, that should be a first down.
The Vultures, the only team yet to play the Stingrays. That'll be next week, I
That
assume.
is the case. And by the chains moving, it believes my maths is correct, and I've got one over the production crew.
No, the Thunder didn't get their free play.
1st and 10 now. Corwin, he's forced to move out to the right again, looking for some more crossing routes. He's got it. And, oh, it's going to be about a 6-yard gain. Flags are down. A big hit at the end of that. Pass caught there by Moody.
He's having a big game. Once again, a lovely bit of work from Tommy Corwin. Felt the pressure, rolled out to the right. Good work from his offensive line.
Well, they're loving these crossing routes combined with Corwin getting on his bike, and you can see everyone at 3 different levels there, just trying to
Yep.
take advantage of a bit of zone defense.
The Thunder offense is markedly
Oh, the flag's going to be waved off there, so the play will stand.
improved since the Stingrays game only 2 weeks ago.
Well, they've had to really improve, particularly in the second half. The Stingrays managed to bring that back to that game being a lot closer than it probably should
Yeah, I
have
think
been.
a lot of that had to do with the Thunder defense, Kenny. I noticed that Phil Crick brought in a lot of his 2nd and 3rd stringers, thinking that they had the game comfortably won.
Next minute, a couple completions later.
Yeah.
Well, now we've got 2nd and short, 2nd and 1, to that long completion to Moody. Good opportunity for play action here. That's exactly what they'll do. They'll throw over the
Nice
middle.
work.
Oh, and it's a short thing. Did he manage to stretch that ball out for the first down? It was a good
I'm
tackle
thinking
regardless.
first. Depends what they give him to spot. No, they haven't given it to him. Short.
They called him short. A good tackle then. Robbie Corcoran on the reception. Classic tight end route there, and a nice tackle there by 5, Johnny Nico. Third and 1 now.
It's always a bit of a difficult decision to make. Do you put your 2nd and 3rd stringers in? When's the right time to do it? Sometimes it'll bite you on the bum.
Totally. Tommy Coleman spent a long time in that huddle here. Let's see if he was telling everyone to hold their water. And we're going to see a timeout taken here by the Rhinos. I don't know if it was by the staff or by the players. Immediately I saw John Nico throw his arms in the air, so he might have taken that timeout there. And, well,
Seems a unusual time to be calling a timeout.
during this timeout, we might get an opportunity to once again thank Impact Sports for all your shut equipment needs. Shoot an email to sales@impactsportsaus.com. Timeout here. Coming out of a timeout, you have time to talk. One thing I'm thinking here, are they going to... Is Tommy Coleman telling his line to hold their water here and they'll try to catch him offside again?
Oh, it's the obvious choice, 3rd and 1.
Especially after a timeout.
They've been reasonably successful doing it against the Rhinos, but the
Shout out
Rhinos...
to the bar behind me who's playing... playing some Backstreet Boys now.
So yeah, it's a nice easy way to pick up 5 yards.
And worst case scenario, it does slow down that blitz game.
The other option is to go on a very quick first sound count and try to catch someone
Or silent
napping
count
outside and the cornerback napping outside, put the ball down the sideline, a little bomb. That's what I do.
Of course. 3rd and 1. Rhinos currently defending a 7-point lead. Thunder just out of the red zone. They'll run it with Thomas Corwin, who calls his own number and gets the job done.
What a glory boy. Classic quarterback, steps up and there's only 1 yard to get.
Well, it's interesting now.
Good work, Tommy.
They're using Chris Pope in the backfield a lot more than I saw in their last game. So you can see that, and we can hear particularly when they need it, the Rhinos sideline amping up, trying to get behind their team. 1st and 10, they're going to need him here in the red zone. Corwin, deep drop, setting up a screen, and it's almost intercepted by Barnes. Oh, the veteran sniffing out the screen, and ball skills were left at home.
Classic Reece Barnes if he'd picked that one off.
Oh, he had it.
I'm not sure he wasn't on the team list. I don't know if that means it's his first game for the year, is it? Or
possibly. I don't recall him calling his name.
maybe a couple of extra training sessions under his belt, he might have caught that one, Kenny.
Maybe.
Needs to do a few more 40-yard sprints, I'd say.
2nd and 10 after the failed screen.
They got it. Looks like they got him playing defensive tackle.
He's former linebacker, isn't he?
Yeah, outside linebacker, defensive end. Yeah, he's lining up a defensive tackle.
He's got the Mooney effect.
And a 2-point stance.
And he's in under pressure, Corwin, but he finds, almost finds Corkett over the middle for a surefire touchdown, but for the left arm of Cheyenne James.
This brings up 4th down. Just should have. I think he actually pulled that one back a little bit.
You think he could have put a bit more pepper on that?
Yeah, I think if he'd gone with his
Sloughed
first
it.
thought, he looks like right at the end he's just pulled that back a little bit.
Well, 3rd down now, just on the edge of the
Oh,
red
so it's
zone.
3rd down now. Okay, so they flipped that down counter nice and quick. Go for the first. Go for the touchdown. What do we do here, Kenny?
Well, I don't know how good their field goal kicking game is, so it'll be interesting to see how aggressive they want to be on 3rd down. Because otherwise, it's 2-down territory for them. And we might see a break here. I'm sure there's not a 2-minute warning.
No, we're just waiting for the lineman to get in position.
The officials get back out.
And swapping
The side
recipe
jokes.
ideas back in the backfield with the head umpire.
Right. Ready for action. 3rd and 10. Thunder on the attack. A bit of a sneaky play action. They're going long with Donnie open.
Yeah.
He's got it. He's trying to make moves now. Gets back to the outside. All in all, it's a 1st down there on 3rd and 10.
That's a very smart play.
Wheel route to Duddy.
That is a lovely little play.
Well, there's a mismatch there. James Calishaw, the treasure of GQ, on the speedy running back that is Dirty.
It actually was a little underthrown, but I think that was the best result because it got it nice in that little bubble where Darty was protected from the defensive back coming across at speed.
So first and goal now, inside the 10.
What a cracker of a game, Kenny.
We are seeing this back and forth matchup.
Worth the drive.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Maybe you come down here for a blowout. First and goal, ball on the 6. Corwin sees blitz, will get taken down by the blitz.
Reese
Barnes doesn't get the pick, but he gets a sack.
Big sack too. What's happened here? He just came streaming through.
You can just see him there, just back in his 1 point stance for you there, Justin. And
That's
he's just
better.
unblocked.
Look, he's lost a little bit of speed, Reese, but they just let him through. Tommy will not be happy with his offensive line on that play.
Oh, they sent a whole bunch of numbers there, and
Yeah.
someone's going to get free. Second and goal. The ball is all the way back at the 17. 18 even. Corwin under pressure, steps
come
up.
again.
Still looking for someone. Looking to the back of the end zone. All he finds are
it's
Rhinos.
picked.
Gordon's got it. The ball thrown under pressure and picked off by the defensive captain, Sebastian Gorton. And now flags come flying. Oh, a bit of a mistake under pressure there, Fernley.
Well, that's what I was talking about, the patience. You've got to have patience and trying to get a first down or a completion in that situation where everything is saying this is not going to be a first down. You just do the smart option. You take the tackle or you throw it dead. You should have just thrown that sailing out of the end zone.
Oh, the flag,
Wait till the next play. It was only a first down, I think, or was it a second down?
maybe second.
No need to push it in that situation. Just a disappointing end to a very good drive.
The Rhinos there getting pinned for unsportsmanlike contact after the turnover, so they'll get backed up. So the Thunder with an opportunity to try and turn up the heat here. First and 10 now, backed up deep in their own territory. Strong makes an audible at the line. He's been shown blitz. Has got a good
Down the
pocket,
middle.
throwing downfield.
Oh!
Was looking.
Well, the Thunder can be very thankful that wasn't more down the middle because number 1, Jarvis McClam was wide open. He was gone.
And Tanawa. Number 12 as well.
Oh, yep.
So either underthrown McClam or overthrown Tanawa. Take your pick.
By the way, great result for the Thunder.
So second and 10 now.
Maybe Christian just couldn't decide.
Too open. Sometimes that happens. You see two receivers too open, you.
Which one? Oh, neither.
Second down this time. They're going to go to the air again underneath for Cheyenne James. Now it's intercepted.
The big man.
Oh, Trejo with a huge hit earlier and now an intercept in the red zone. That's got to be a rare pick for Strong. It was overthrown, intended for James. On the
What
tip,
number was it? Number 12.
Trejo, but the tip was made there by
he is
Philip
playing.
Carr. So
Nice work from the Thunder defensive secondary. What position is Trejo playing? Linebacker, outside backer?
No, Mike linebacker.
And
He was
number
on the
12.
outside and that's on there.
Oh,
He's
they're
been playing
mixing
in
it
the
up.
night, so playing everywhere. Look, for a guy his size, he can move. I think that's the case for a lot of the front seven here for the Thunder.
Thunder get a second chance, so to speak.
That's exactly right, Corwin. Let's see how he plays this second opportunity in the red zone. Their third overall. He's looking for one-on-one.
Yep.
He's got it. This time,
Lovely.
Leon Moody wins the battle of the two imports. He comes down with a touchdown in the corner.
Nice work from Tommy. Nice work from the receiver.
Let's something we just did not see 5-10 years ago with receivers, the old back shoulder fade. It's great to see it in the game nowadays because it means our quarterbacking skills have gotten better.
Yep. They certainly bring a lot of athleticism to the competition. And having the experience of these guys at quarterback.
Kyle Silver into the PAT. Yes!
This isn't good.
So, for some reason, our someone's turned on the blinders in the clubhouse, which has blocked the view of a lot of our clubs there and almost taken out one of our cameras. I feel like Indiana Jones right now protecting the camera. So someone's clearly not got the memo. Fingers crossed, nothing's broken here. Looks like we're somewhat good now. All the vision is back to us. Bostov, unfortunately, accidentally hit the button for the blinders here on the balcony. We're all good now.
It's almost a blackout.
Happened to the best time possible, quite frankly. No one lost their highlight team footage. And the PAT was good. It's the one thing we possibly missed, hence this guy's tied scoreline. 13-13, and everyone here on the balcony can change their pants. So a tied ball game here in the middle of the second quarter.
I'm pretty sure that everyone out there in GQ land is watching this game with a huge amount of interest, Kenny, and that interest level is peaking at the moment.
That's it. Everyone's shooting messages out to people saying, check it out. We've got a tied ball game. Big thank you to everyone who's tuning in. A short kickoff here for the Thunder.
Nice pickup.
But aware is James Calishaw, the wily veteran who gets decked by Nada Togafu. And Calishaw will earn his team a extra chunky yardage.
Again, Kenny, I'm just don't understand why you would do that. 13 all, 4:57 left in the quarter. Why? Why give them this field position? You're not playing a weak team. You're playing a team with a bunch of skilled athletes in it.
Yeah, but I think it's the pressure to keep up with them offensively, I guess. I mean, some people will then say you've got to play to win to beat this team, right?
Yeah, but it's 13 all. They've done a fantastic job. And now they've just handed them field position at better. Well, where are they going to end up with the ball? About the 35-yard line?
To the extra 15 yards there, so they'll be well and truly in Thunder territory.
It's just a...
Well, Strong last time he was on the field, overthrew James, led to a pick, which ultimately culminated in a Thunder touchdown, the game-tying touchdown.
You just don't give a team like the Rhinos anything, and they've just handed them potentially 60 yards.
Carlton in the backfield. They will let Carlton run with it, but he's met in the backfield by, hang on, I got duped there. Strong ended up keeping it. Sleight of hand, but fortunately for the Thunder defense, doesn't do a whole lot of damage with it.
He's got himself 5 yards, 6 yards.
And cops a shot there from Wemban. He's back here. So Mark 1, Strong versus Andres. He's fooled me once.
Christian's showing us one of his moves.
Yeah,
Not quite sure what he'd call that move.
the basketball pump fake.
I was thinking more a little spin at the end.
And taking a timeout here, the Thunder, they want a second to regain their composure.
Is it just me, or does Christian remind other people of Jared Stegman in the Rhinos backfield? Similar build.
We'll talk
similar
about that
style.
in a moment. sportingglobe.com.au/grand final. No better place here in Southeast Queensland to watch any of the upcoming grand finals as well as the NFL. But I think you're right. Going back to that compliment, I was thinking it the other day. I just didn't want to be the first person to say it because it's an easy comparison.
Yep. Jared currently over in Japan with the getting lots of beers, so to speak. I noted that the first time I saw Christian in the backfield, very, very similar styles of play.
Well, they both were number 10 as well. That certainly doesn't help the comparison.
Jared's all over the shop with his number. I think
3, 1,
just
2,
to sell
10.
more jerseys, I think.
Second down and 5. Armstrong keeps it again, pitches it out to Cheyenne James. Cheyenne James presses the circle button, spin moves, now he uses a stiff arm.
I think that's the X and the right trigger.
He's always got the right trigger down. You see Cheyenne James picking up some yardage.
So I don't think Christian wanted to get one of those hits from the linebackers of the Thunder, and again.
Takes it down inside the 10. Carlton now take a carry. It is Carlton. He shoots up the gut for a couple of yards.
I'm really thinking that Thunder are regretting that onside kick decision, Kenny.
I think it's a possibility.
It just made it far too easy for the Rhinos.
Carlton not doing any more than he's expected of right now, just getting the yards at hand and protecting the football. Fumbled twice in the first game we saw with him. And since then, I haven't recalled him fumbling since. I thought the Thunder might have been caught offside there.
Oh,
It's
he's
thrown
dropped it.
and almost caught. It was in the hands of Tanawa, but it unfortunately falls incomplete. Can't corral it.
Maybe an offside.
I think so.
Yep,
there is
there's
a
the
flag.
flag.
Yep, near side. Get him even closer now. And I'm speaking
Half
about running
distance
backs.
to the goal line.
I'm looking to the other balcony right now. I'm seeing league MVP Darius Holiday Miller, the current injured running back for the Bayside Ravens, along with the Christy Moran there with him.
For those listening at home that aren't aware, if you're at a point between the ball spot and the goal line, if a penalty is given and it's more than the distance, then it becomes half the distance to the goal line. So if you're on the 6-yard line, you get a 5-yard penalty.
Same word, it was bringing up in that last point.
Go to the 1-yard line. If you're on the 4-yard line, it goes down to the 2-yard line.
Because there's only so many yards to give when you get that close. We got second down.
And they
3.
also get to replay that down. So it's a bit of a gift. The defensive offside penalty. Easy 5 yards.
They can actually get a first down here without scoring. Looking over to the left, he's got an open man in Tanawa, but he overthrows it into the flat. That'll bring up third down.
There's one thing I like about Christian Strong. He's not afraid to throw to a receiver that has just either A, dropped the ball or not been open. He's not afraid to go back there again. A lot of quarterbacks will go, well, that didn't work. Let's go to something else and something completely different. When there's no real reason to.
Sometimes it's just a matter of you'll catch it one time, you'll chop it the next. Or vice versa in this case.
Yeah.
Well, he's got 3 receivers out to the left again. He'll take it himself. Throwing for the corner for James. He's got it. The creativity of this play calling system furthermore on display. This time it's a touchdown to James in the right-hand corner. Philip Carr beaten on that play, but they've got so much action going on in the backfield there. It must be hard to be a defender at the goal line against these Rhinos.
There's so many weapons. I mean, I guess you could say that the Rhinos scoring off that drive so quickly and with time left on the clock gives the Thunder a better opportunity to get another touchdown. That's the only argument someone could put up for that probably ill-advised onside kick.
Cockler is good. Yeah. Well, maybe that's their argument. You know, they expected the Rhinos to score, so they wanted a short field, so they get the opportunity to score back. If that's the case, and they do score in this exposition, absolute genius. Absolute genius. While we wait for the next kickoff next week, if you're still looking for more GQ action, look no further than Griffith University Nathan Fields. At 1:30, we've got the Griffith University Thunder, the Sunball appearing Griffith University Thunder, taking on the Raptors from Moreton Bay. And then at 6:30 p.m., the Thunder you are currently watching, they'll be taking on last year's Sunball runners-up, the Bayside Ravens. So plenty of Sunball combatants next week on GQ TV.
And what's happening between those two games next year, Kenny? Next week?
Next week? What's happening? They're being live streamed.
1:30, 6:30? What's in between the two games?
Honestly, I wish I could tell you. It's a bit weird. We usually go back-to-back games.
It's a big gap.
Yeah, we'll have to suss that out. See Kokwa send this ball deep. Yet to see a tricky kickoff by him.
It's high, not particularly long.
Pope's
Good
got
kick.
it. Pope looking for blocks. Pope cutting it back up the middle and eventually taken down around the 25-yard line.
So, Kenny, that food is smelling rather nice.
I was about to say, I've got to find a way to get some cash. Let's try and get down to that barbecue going down. They've made so much money over the last 3 weeks off me. I think it's evil that smell just wafts straight up here into the commentary booth.
Well, here we go. In a perfect world, the Rhinos will eat up the best part of this 3.5 minutes. Oh, sorry, the Thunder will eat up the best part of this 3.5 minutes. Get some more points on the board, so we go into the half at 20 all.
Well, that'll be an interesting call in itself. You have a chance to take the lead at the half, or they go 2-point conversion. But of course, to get that opportunity, they need to score. Empty backfield, naked and alone, it is Corwin under pressure, throws quickly, hits his receiver, not in the greatest position though. Stockman and Parnell, they shut that play down awfully quick.
So they might have given them a token half yard.
Pass completed to Moody on that play. All right, there we go. The mistake in our advertising there. Next week's games are 1:30 and 4 o'clock. So that explains that situation. 1:30 and 4 o'clock. Second down and 10. Tommy Corwin and the Thunder. He wants to look over the middle. He's going to patiently let the play develop. He's got a man downfield. He can't hold on to it.
Nice defense.
I think that was Caio Silva
Gonzalo Lugo.
on the coverage.
Getty's big right hand in there and broke that up.
So Lugo, the long-time corner for the Rhinos. I tried to convince him to have a pre-game interview with me. He said he doesn't speak English very well, which I know is not true.
Pre-match nerves, Kenny.
Let's just have it in Spanish. We'll dub it afterwards. Or for all our Spanish viewers out there, it'll be a special
Give him
treat.
the Hercules treatment.
Well, he's in corner as in place of starting of Joe Rasmussen, who's still out with a foot injury. Now he's going short for Duddy. This pass is well
tipped by
short.
James Collinshaw.
Yeah, and he's celebrating in it. The secretary.
He's having a big game, James, tonight.
He is. Got a bit of a kick return there.
Fourth down already, just like that. Boom.
And well, now the momentum kind of switches because now they've got a full 2 minutes, the Rhinos, with 2 timeouts.
Well, they might not need it on this kick return.
That's exactly right. They got 2 of the best athletes in Australia. Down here, or is that?
I think number one's coming off.
Yeah,
Jarvis
right.
is coming off the field.
So he'll let
He's going to let Devontre do the job.
Parnell take a shot. Both of those athletes capable of taking it to the house.
Thunder will have to be very careful with their coverage. We've got a flag. Is it a delay of game by the looks of it? We'll push them back another 5 yards.
It's even better news for Parnell.
Well, it's been a very, very disappointing last 3 minutes from the Thunder. Lost their way a little bit.
Corkett.
Looks like going for the nice. Oh no, he's.
It's
Oh,
a knuckleball, and McLean couldn't handle it, and he's
nice
taken
work.
down
Nice coverage.
for a actual loss on the play there. Corey Jones
Jones.
making the tackle. And I've got to say, I want to give credit to the Robbie Corkett kick there. That was a mission to try and handle, and even someone as talented as Parnell, my apologies, couldn't handle that one.
Was wobbling all over the place. Now we got
We've
another
also got
flag.
flags. Oh, someone said something naughty.
So how many times have you told the listeners at home that this was the birthplace of Gridiron in Queensland?
0.
Mention
but
that-
you
yeah.
are on 1.
Haven't mentioned that before.
I knew that historically. I didn't realize it was the birthplace. I knew it was,
Way back in 1985.
Bulldogs and Centurions first game?
No, the first game was actually the Steelers versus Warriors.
There you go.
At I don't know, approximately 1:30, followed by the Bulldogs and Centurions, which is actually available on YouTube to watch. The first year we played all our games here at Mitchelton without equipment.
Just
So
plain,
it's,
just straight up games with just jerseys.
Yeah, just jerseys. Oh, the Bulldogs had various items of luxury padding under their jerseys. Some of the guys had duvets, others had small cot mattresses
Wow.
under their
There
jerseys.
you go. 2 minute
But by
warning.
and large, most of the players, were just very old school, no equipment. Most of the guys didn't have mouth guards.
Wow. How the game has changed and evolved in Australia alone. Now, we've not only got the 2-minute warning, we've got an injured player down here for the Thunder, which also reveals another thing here. Garrett Griffith, you can see him, the man in the black shirt, kneeling down right now. He was the player who was taken off early in the friendly fire clash. He has got his kit off. He will not be finishing this game. And while they're getting to the sideline, we'll take a short hour break. Be back soon with more GQ action.
Hello, Paul Mills, live streaming Brisbane.
Yes, hello. Do you only do live streaming?
No, we do all sorts of video production, from television commercials through to corporate videos. We even teach students how to film and edit. We've got 17 years worth of television production, from programs to series to websites to social media.
But you only work in Brisbane?
No, we don't just work in Brisbane. We actually travel all over Australia, and in the last few years we've worked in Perth and Sydney, Melbourne, Darwin, Adelaide, Toowoomba, Gold Coast, as well as Brisbane. Our equipment is very portable.
So what genius came up with your dumb name then?
And back here at Franklin Oval, the injured player was Julius Trejo, which will be a huge loss because they've already lost Griffith. That's 2 key defensive players for the Thunder taken out in the first half. Strong will try to exploit that. He's going deep straight away for Hansen. Hansen had it in stride. Had beaten Mike Jones and he dropped it.
Absolutely stone cold dropped it, Kenny. He was gone. He was under those sticks. He just forgot one little detail.
And he'd beaten the experienced scorer in Jones. Yeah, he got inside, got the leverage he wanted. Got a bit too excited, I think.
Let's blame the lights.
Every good receiver blames the lights every now and again. 2nd and 10. Ace of base in the background. Here goes Carlton. Carlton has to lower the shoulder to protect himself. Still moving the pile. The young man's tough. Gets as many yards as he can. A lot of effort for a short gain.
Offensive line giving a bit of a helping hand there.
Actually picks up about 5 yards on that play. 3rd and 5.
Channeling their inner beast mode.
Yeah, indeed. Quick play, no huddle on that play. They're looking for Tanawa. Tanawa's got it and the first down. Wenban tries to finish him off.
Lost his
But I
hat.
think forward progression, we'll see the first down called here and marked for the Rhinos. Tanawa's lost his helmet, so he'll have to come off for a play. Mike Jones has stripped him of his lid. Now he's coming off the field. On come the field comes Jarvis McClam. McClam, James, Gorton now returning to his birth position of tight end.
Kind of get the feeling that the Rhinos have somewhat been going through the motions thus far, expecting this game to go a lot easier for them. It could be a trigger for Christian and his offensive weapons to step it up a notch.
Quite possible.
And really put the hammer down on the Thunder.
They've changed the spot of the ball or where they thought it was because it is the first down.
Certainly if they get a touchdown here before the half, it's going to do a lot of damage to the Thunder's hopes of winning this game. Not impossible, but it's going to damage it.
Strong. Vertical patterns all across the field. Strong taken down by the Thunder D-line. It was only a 4-man rush, but they got back there.
Poor work from the left
Sam
tackle.
Leota. He wasn't the man who finished on him, but he's the man who brought him down. Rhinos take a time out here. They're going to try and think about how they're going to handle this final minute of the game. Jeez, what an effort there by the
Big play. Big play
D-line.
from the
We'll
Thunder
take a
D.
quick break and we'll be back with you on the other side of it. Oh, sportingglobe.com.au grand final. Can't say much more than I already have. No better place to be watching all your grand final action. Check them out, sportingglobe.com.au/grand final, Westfield Chermside.
Scarves not essential.
Well, if it's as cold as it is tonight, maybe it's a possibility. That's a huge gain there for the Thunder, who will pick up some confidence, and what it does means, it means their DBs, who have been having a bit of trouble now, they've got a little more leeway. Christian Arnold back at free safety. He delivered a huge bone-rattling hit earlier in the game. Looking short now to Carlton. Carlton's got it in the flat. What can he do after the ball? He follows a great block by McClam. Gets it out of bounds. Huge block by McClam.
Right man in the right spot.
We'll get a good shot of it here, I think.
Poor coverage initially, but
Poor Philip Carr.
poor Phil Carr. He's hung out to dry.
3rd down and 6. Clock's running. Inside a minute now. Timmy Carlton's going to get it again. Sam Leota will take him down along with mystery number 72. Flags are down. I have a feeling they might think there's a bit of helmet-to-helmet action here. Nada Togafu looks a bit gingerly coming out of that. Does he know where he is?
Again, strange play calling from the Rhinos. I wouldn't have thought the give to Tim on 3rd and 6 in this field position would have been the way to go.
Perhaps they're just trying to run the clock out
Yeah,
now.
possibly.
I imagine that's the case.
I just felt that now would have been the time to really put the foot on the throat of the Thunder, and you know, it's quite obvious their biggest weapons are their receiving core, and at this point in the game, if you get another touchdown, it's going to be a huge confidence boost for the Rhinos, and obviously not one for the Thunder. This would be the time to try to get a 60-yard touchdown against them.
It would have an impact regardless. You want some impact? Why don't you try ImpactSportsAUS.com. Sales at ImpactSportsAUS.com, I should say. Shoot them an email for all your shot equipment needs. Well, we've got 46 seconds on our clock. I'm just trying to get a confirmation about whether that is accurate.
Perhaps the officials are discussing that at the moment.
Flags are still on the ground.
Lots of yellow hankies on the ground at the moment.
Taking every bit of me to not start turning this commentary booth into a karaoke booth. Playing all my favourite hits.
No air from me, Kenny.
13:20 inside the final minute of the first half here at Franklin Oval, week 5 in the Gridiron Queensland 2018 season. The broadcast being brought to you live streaming Brisbane thanks to the Sporting Globe.
Legend has it that Kenny, the karaoke kid, is quite the karaoke champion.
Doesn't take a lot to get me going, mate.
Looks like Mike Jones has been called in to sort this out.
He stuck his hand up. I don't know why.
What do we got? We got a holding.
Holding on the offense.
Declined. Okay, so 4th down.
So we'll take 4th down, holding. So multiple holdings on offense. Looks like all those penalties have very well been declined. The Thunder want to take the down. And now we're seeing a change of personnel because the Rhinos are seemingly sending out Sebastian Gorton in their punt unit. So after all that, it turns out to be a 4th down. And time will stop, so the Thunder will get one last opportunity here. That being said, we've seen some...
Fake punt, Kenny, fake punt.
We have seen some crazy stuff, and
fake punt.
Are we about to see that right now? Is Gorton going to be trusted to throw a pass here? He's rolling out to the right. He will just punt it away. Pooch punt it away.
Wow.
And I was wondering if we saw some sort of funky rule business there because the Rhinos gunner there tried to catch it.
Disappointing end to a bit of potential trickery, Kenny.
I'm a little surprised there. Like, I'm surprised that Sebastian Gorton just didn't pump the rubber out of that boot there. He kicked it as if he was kicking from his own, from the Thunder 40.
Yeah,
it's very peculiar.
Strange. Oh, I think Coach Booker's having some words to say too. So I think maybe they were on different playbooks on that one.
I think so too. Because they've given them some pretty decent field position here. I mean, Corwin can get that ball downfield.
It's been a pretty ordinary last 5 minutes from both teams.
Indeed, as this northern breeze picks up right behind Tommy Corwin right now. If he wants to send it deep, he's got a bit of wind behind him. And it looks like that's the case. He'll throw it down the middle. Almost intercepted. Price on the coverage. Not looking to put any air under that ball, just drove that ball to his intended receiver.
Very ambitious pass from Tommy there. Double coverage.
Yeah, wanted to hit Pope. A bit of gunslinger showing from Mr. Corwin.
The Rhinos have decided to put someone back deep. Down the middle.
2nd and 10.
And Now they haven't.
33 seconds. Corwin. Deep
Going
drop.
left, deep
looking
left.
For the sidelines.
Oh, he's pushing on the receiver.
Oh, miscommunication there. Corwin expected Moody to go downfield. Moody broke it back, but it also could have been just a good coverage of Parnell there that forced him to pull it up short.
Both teams seem to have lost their way a little bit, Kenny. They started off with what seemed like an obvious game plan. They've both lost their way offensively.
Blame it on the share in the background. 3rd and 10. Let's see if they persist on pushing this ball downfield. The sideline for the Rhinos arcing up. And this has been tipped and incomplete. So 3 quick plays. Still leaving some time on the clock. And it's crazy the amount of change of possessions we've had in this final 2 minutes.
Yep.
Because now the Thunder are gone out to punt it. And neither of these teams need a whole lot of time to score, particularly the Rhinos.
And especially the Rhinos, Kenny, like last week against the Stingrays when they had lots of points on the board and an opportunity to mix things up, throw the running game in. They just stuck to their passing game.
Yeah.
Nothing was going to move them from that. And this week they've come in and they're, 2013, they're mixing it up, running it, passing it.
In one half, they ran the ball more than the entirety of the game last week.
Yep.
So if there was I think Thunder might have used their last time out there.
A big discussion for what should be an obvious punting situation.
And get this.
Well, the smart money says kick this one straight to the sideline, Kenny.
I think so, or if he can, out the back of the end zone. Now, I didn't realise this. Long snapper for the Thunder is Corey Jones.
Yeah, he's been doing that job for quite a while with the Wildcats previous.
Corkett takes his time, lets his defenders go
That's a nice
downfield,
kick.
and he gets another good punt. Actually mark him in for an inside 20 on that one.
Because the rule being that you can't attack the snapper,
So you may as well put your...
so have a accurate small guy in there that does a good job. He's not going to get smashed.
Especially because they can jump downfield as soon as they snap it. So
Yeah,
you can get someone an extra amount of kick coverage, which we actually saw, I think.
Yep.
Him make a tackle. One McClam earlier in this game.
Jones is a very versatile athlete. Been playing for a few years now. I think he started
quite a
in
bit.
juniors, didn't he?
I think he started in the juniors back in 2006, if memory serves
It's
correct.
been
He's
around
over
for a
10
while.
years under his belt.
Knows his way around the gridiron. Did a lot of work with the Wildcats prior to their folding or remission.
I think next year we'll find out. 14 ball on the 14. Bit of time in the help. They've got a screen developed here from McClam. McClam patiently waits behind his blockers, takes it out of bounds. We're looking at about 10 seconds remaining. How about the slide protection by the offensive line there? I'm glad halftime's almost here. I've got to belt out a tune soon. He goes strong, throwing a pass over the middle to Henson. He cops a shot from Togafu, but he gets up because he made the catch. What a grab.
He's okay. Thomas Hansen. He's made some nice grabs tonight.
He's a confident young man.
First down.
This very well could be the last play of the half. Over the middle for Tanawar again. He cops another shot, drops it, and that could be bringing it close to the first half. And we've got a Thunder player down deep. I think it's Nada Togafu. And there it is. That brings half number 1 to a close here in week 5. The Rhinos, their streak is a little healthier than the Thunder's right now as they lead at 20 points to 13 here in Gridiron, Queensland. Kenny Andres with you on the call, along with Justin Fairley. We're going to take a short break for halftime. We'll see you on the other side. Well, the Ravens are here. Obviously, they're in a bye week this week, so it's getting their opinion of it, and it was interesting. Had different sort of thought processes coming from different players, and I think it depended on which side of the ball you're on.
I was having a chat to some of the boys from the Ravens, and they've certainly taken away a lot from watching the Thunder tonight. The Thunder very much an improved team over the last 2 or 3 weeks, especially defensively.
Absolutely.
The Ravens are a little bit surprised, I guess, so gives them a lot to think about between now and next Saturday.
It's 3 touchdowns to 2 right now, and the Rhinos, their first off scorers, Hanson, James, and McClam. Tommy Coleman with a couple of touchdowns in the first half for the Thunder. And here goes Gosson, Kaniki, and Tombwe. Shows Austin's quick feet, eventually taken down just shy of the 40. Thinking of a lot of other teams who'd probably be their first returner, but when you've got the talent that the Rhinos do.
The amount of talent on this team is quite phenomenal. When you look at the sideline, have a look at some of the bodies that are on the sideline, not getting a lot of PT tonight, it really does show the incredible depth this team's got.
So Rhinos with the lead and the first possession of the second half. They put McClam in motion and give him the ball. He's following the block of Carlton. He's got the edge and is effectively tackled by his own player.
Yeah, lovely tackle by number 82, I think it is. Thomas Hanson.
He had a good first half, Hanson. As did McClam. Caught the touchdown pass over the middle.
Oh, there's a false start. Jim James out there at wide out on the right-hand side. Again, I would have called that motion if I was a receiver, even though I'm on the line of scrimmage.
Got to make any argument you can, mate.
He's probably feeling a little hard done by there. Gave himself up a bit.
Interesting about the Rhinos that I noted, and I guess I'm sort of speculating on my own memory here, is that when they gave up penalties, they gave them up in bunches.
Yes.
You know, so let's see if that penalty starts a bit of a trend. 3-by-1 set. Cheyenne James, the near side wide receiver to your screen. They're going to throw short to Carlton on a bit of a screen here. He's got some blockers looking to get forward, and he busts it for a first down. About 14 yards on second down.
Well, one thing that's historically coaches from the States have brought to teams in GQ is discipline. And I'm sure Coach Booker is instilling the same philosophy into his Rhinos team. So it is unusual to see some of the cheap penalties they've given away tonight, false starts and unsportsmanlike conducts, stuff like that, it's a little bit of a surprise given what I would have thought.
Well, we've got a medical timeout here. Another Thunder player down, and they keep dropping. A couple of key defensive keys taken out of the Thunder defense after the first half. Garrett Griffith taken down with a suspected concussion. Corey Jones eventually returns. Sam Leota is now underneath the injury tent still. Hasn't returned to his sideline.
Looks like it might just be a cramp on this one, Kenny. Nothing too serious.
Good news in the grand scheme of things. And we're still not sure of the status of Julius Trejo, who got carried off the field towards the back end of the second quarter. He was instrumental in setting up the second touchdown for the Thunder. He got the touchdown, the interception that got them back inside the 5.
So this lad isn't on the team sheet either, number 40. Any ideas on his identification?
Oh, yep. Is one of the number chains we've had. It's Paula Taipaletti.
Oh, okay.
So you're 51 on your team list. And we'll take a quick chance to once again, coming out of this first half, thank the Sporting Globe for all the offers they're providing you at grand final time. Check out what they have to offer at thesportingglobe.com.au/grand final. So he's assisted off the field now. So the defensive depth for the Thunder is really getting tested tonight.
That cold's really moving in now, Kenny.
Oh, and trust me, I'm feeling it more than most. And this time, McClam in motion from behind is the option man. He'll get it. Now he's trying to find a block from James. It's a great block from James and a magnificent hurdle.
Oh,
Flags thrown in the backfield, but you can hear through my mic the way the crowd love that. You were known for a hurdle or two in your time, JF?
Well, I was more of a diver than a hurdler. I tended to dive over the top of people.
I can't imagine what this flag would be, possibly holding on James, which I would take issue to. I thought it was a clean block, and I thought it was a hard-working block. While I'm seeing Corey Jones clap and appreciate. So this one's going against the Rhinos, and it's going. He's now pointing at James, so I'm guessing it might be on him. Trying to get confirmation from our referees up here about what's the case, but until then, I will speculate that it was a hold on James.
Oh, all that aside, it was a lovely bit of athleticism there from the Rhinos hurdler. Lovely hang time. Certainly be happy with that effort.
And Phil Cole wasn't even all that low. He jumped over Phil Cole.
Well, more impressive was he took off about 5 yards before the guy. Still cleared him easily.
Double and nothing, McLam. Do it again. And he'll get an opportunity, just a direct handoff using just basic speed.
Such
and eventually,
quick feet. Such quick feet, Kenny.
How about the goose step at the end of that run as well before he's taken out by Christian?
That's what I'm talking about, that speed in the backfield. Just attack that backfield. Let things develop from there, but attack it. Attack the line.
Barely yet to put a foot wrong.
Tim Carlton just down here in front of us. Looks to be moving all right.
Oh man, McLam's taking the halfback carriers right now. Oh, a huge block at the line there that absolutely decleated a Thunder defender. Just keep on the line here, just the right side of the line.
Nice work.
I think it was, I can't make out what it was, but destroyed him from our angle.
The Rhinos running a zone run blocking scheme. Well, they're really cranking out the hits tonight here at the West Mitchelton Rugby League Club.
I think it's only gotten louder since we come out of the half. High snap there, but it's caught. And it's play action pass. James. The sleight of hand by Christian Strong had me fooled once more.
Well, they set this touchdown up very nicely. Give, fake, pass, touchdown.
James with his second touchdown catch of the day. The Rhinos extend their lead to 2 scores.
Textbook offense.
Well, once again, they took a look about whether they wanted to run something crazy from the PAT attempt, and now they'll just reset to something a little more traditional. And Corey Jones tries to get into the blocked it. He doesn't block it, but he does enough to...
Certainly drew a nice hold here too.
did enough to distract Cockwa, who misses to the left of the upright. So the score remains 26 points to 13.
Well, the Thunder have now got themselves a fairly sizable hole to dig themselves out of. 2 touchdowns down. Rhinos scored pretty quickly in this quarter.
Now this is a situation where they're sussing about, I think they're sussing out how aware the front line is, because you can see them in the huddle. They're having a conversation right now, and I almost feel that Coach Booker's given them permission to pull a sneaky one out if they feel it's
reaching into their bag of trickery.
Well, Cockwa can do some pretty crazy things with those green boots of his. Let's see if he tries to sneak in some sort of onside kick here. And now they've got the Venga boys playing behind me.
It doesn't get any better than that, Kenny.
All the willpower I have not to be singing along right now.
The Venga bus is well and truly
Yes.
chock full of fun tonight.
I love the Venga bus so much that my fantasy football team's named after it. Cockwa, he will keep it
going
tradish.
long.
Into the hands of Pope. Pope has gone to the right side every time tonight. And this time he circles back, he's in trouble.
It's all over.
And Tadavasa takes him down. The kickoff unit well and truly doing their job.
Well, it says a lot about the Rhinos' defence, Kenny, when they can afford to keep the likes of number 13, Mitchell Wong, on the sidelines on defence.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
And the very experienced Joe Tuimavave, again, also on the sidelines. So when you've got a defence on the field and you can afford to have two guys of that calibre on the sideline, it says a lot about the depth in this team.
Well, I think it also says, talks about the discipline and the attitude of Coach John Booker. He is very, very much a believer in how you practice is how you're gonna how much time you're gonna play or how much you show off to practice. So last week Ernest Moore got benched for lack of practice attendance.
Okay.
Now he's on the field starting. And
Oh,
Mitch
nice
Wong
play. Here we go,
pressed.
here we go.
Oh, no, it's Robbie Hawkins.
It's a foot
He's
race.
turning on the
I
Jets
think
the
he's-
best he can.
Get
Can
it.
he outrun
Pull it
Gordon?
off.
McLean's in
He's-
pursuit. He'll get there. Oh, how about the heart of Robbie Gorkin?
Oh, how good is that? What a run. No flags. We're all good. A lovely pass pattern. Very nicely worked. Great work from the receiver and Christian Strong, quarterback.
Well,
Robbie Corcutt
I think the pump
ran that
pump
pattern
fake.
beautifully.
I think the pump fake might have got him because
Yeah,
he was wide
yeah.
open behind the
That's what
safety.
I mean. They played it perfectly
Wow.
between the two of them.
What a lightning play. They're going to set up for the
There he
PAT
goes, lining
right
up
now.
at left tight end. So yeah, look at
Oh,
that.
there it is.
Nice little wriggle, just enough. And then the head went down.
I don't think he believed he was going to make it with the way he turned the gas on there. PAT is up
It's
and
gone,
wide right. All the PAT game missing in this second half, but how about that? The way he started opening up his stride, he
That
didn't
was
think he was
great.
going to make it.
That was great.
But Nico there caught by the pump fake on the out and up route. Or the sticker, I believe they call it.
We'll put that one down to lack of practice. Johnny's only just got back from the States, I believe.
That there was an impact play. Why don't you check out Impact Sports, sales at impactsportsaus.com. They're the contacts you need for any sort of shut accessories here for your Gridiron experience. That's no easy feat. You know, I know he's coming back a bit rusty. I mean, he has been practicing but hasn't been able to play. But to fake out a defender of Nico's quality with that, it's a good job by
That's
both the
just lack
quarterback.
of practice, lack of training. It's just a basic thing that as a defensive back, he'll be kicking himself because he knows what he should have done in that play, and he did everything wrong that he should have done. But yeah, just good work from offense. Good pattern, good little pump fake from Tommy Corwin.
The Thunder going to be the team that is the thorn in the Rhinos side. Are they just going to keep sticking around?
I know, it's really, really good to see.
26-19.
And you know, if there's one guy in this league that deserves this sort of success, it'd be Phil Creek, head coach of the Thunder. Been around for many years. Ex-teammate of mine back in the Centurions days.
Yeah, also coached for a long time in the Bears. This one's along the ground. Price tries to clean it up, eventually will be, and Tomboy gets on top of him.
Yeah, many years with the Bears, came very close in 2013.
Yeah, there was the Stegatron and the Recepticon years.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very
They've
much.
even brought the sources up. Now,
Wow.
this is how much of a celebrity my colour commentator is today. He's got a snag delivered to him in person
Thank you
with
very
all the
much.
sources brought up as well. Mate, you're on another level. When I grow up, I want to be Justin Fairley, if that's the perks that come along with it. First down and 10, back in the game. I'll solo for a bit, hey? Three wide receivers out to the right. McClam now is trying to figure out where he's supposed to be. Is he running back? Is he a receiver? He'll settle in the backfield. Three receivers to the right. Now it'll be Chaim James in motion, and he'll get the handoff on the end around, straightens up, gets upfield. Not for a whole lot of yardage, though. He gets kerplunked there by Daniel Bam Bam Wenban. And he just tries to get the edge there, but the flow there. And the pursuit from Wenban, who just comes down hard from his safety position. He is now dropped back to a deep safety role. Looks like they've got a bit of a cover two look going now here for the Thunder. Corey is going to bail. Corey, that's Jones. It's a play action pass from Strong. Strong's looking for the flat. He's got it. Tanawa. He beats Corey Jones, then beats Philip Carr. Keeps going, steps out of the sideline. And now flags have been thrown. One of the side judges has taken exception to something. I just don't know if that was a late hit or for a bit of language after the play. So the question is, did he step out? At what point does he do it? The referee says that's the point there, and he's going to ping Wenban there. Wenban thought he was still in play, so Unlucky penalty for him, but nonetheless has to be called. Timmy Reynolds now the offensive coordinator for the Rhinos. Signals a play into Christian Strong. They'll have a bit more time here to organise what they're going to do because the referees are still discussing. The chains are still moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was not me.
I invite Phil Levis over to the booth and he just plays Mario behind me. And after that penalty is enforced, the Rhinos march well and truly into Thunder territory. First down and 10. Rhinos just outside of the red zone. This pass, is that a fumble? No, incomplete pass. It was supposed to be a screen for Thomas Hansen. Too high for him, unfortunately. I'll bring up second down. Ball currently on the 23-yard line.
Well, I'm back, Kenny.
Justin Fernley's back. He's all snagged up.
Potential
Fed.
fainting incident. Fainting incident has been averted.
It's a long drive, mate. You need somebody to keep your sustenance going. Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass. It'll be a give to McLam up the middle. McLam will be chased down and, oh, it's number 45, Pelusi. Big man on small man. This time big man wins, but we've got an injured Thunder player.
He doesn't look
Back
well.
down middle of the field and he does
Brody
not look
Weef.
happy.
The veteran.
Brody
The
Weef.
veteran Brody Weef does not look very happy.
He's part of a football family, isn't there? There's a couple of Weefs that play, don't they?
I'm only aware of Brody.
Just the one? Okay.
One of GQ's beloved ghosts of Gridiron.
And we might just take a quick ad here as Weef gets looked after. Be back soon.
Hello, Paul Mills, live streaming Brisbane.
Yes, hello. Do you only do live streaming?
No, we do all sorts of video production, from television commercials through to corporate videos. We even teach students how to film and edit. We've got 17 years worth of television production, from programs to series to websites to social media.
But you only work in Brisbane?
No, we don't just work in Brisbane. We actually travel all over Australia, and in the last few years we've worked in Perth and Sydney, Melbourne, Darwin, Adelaide, Toowoomba, Gold Coast, as well as Brisbane. Our equipment is very portable.
So what genius came up with your dumb name then?
All right, the veteran Brodie Weave carried off. Eventually, he'll be looked at under the injury tent. Now, I was actually unaware of it, how old Brodie Weave is. He very well could be the oldest member on the field today.
Well, he's nudging 41. I think Joe Tumavavi is not too far behind him.
We'll get back to him in a moment. Christian Strong about to let the play go. He's got vertical patterns. He's going underneath the Hansen. He'll try to do something. What a spin move! And eventually will be tackled by McClam, who tried to move the pile forward.
Very close.
And a nice spin move that gets him close to the goal line.
Yeah, Brodie's another one of GQ's journeymen. He played in the noughties till a back injury curtailed his career. Then he came back for the Ghost game in 2011. 2011.
Jeez, he almost is an argument that he scored there. Anyways, here goes Strong. Fighting for it, doesn't get it on the first effort, and won't get it in the second either. No touchdown. I almost think that
Very
Hansen,
close.
Wemban denies him there, along with Griffith Uni.
Now,
That's it back. Findalator.
again, take a leaf out of the Thunder book and just sneak this thing in.
I'm yet to see Christian go into centre.
And give up 5 yards. Oh.
So the D-line threatening to penetrate there. They managed to get the offensive line to flinch.
Yeah, I don't know why teams have to make it harder for themselves, Kenny. It seems like a bit of a no-brainer when you've got less than a yard to get to the goal line. Just you've got a big offensive line. They've done the job well tonight. Just plough in behind them.
Good news for the Thunder. Sam Leota's back on the field.
Obviously, it doesn't do much for your highlights tapes. No one wants such a quarterback sneak, but
There we go. There you go, Internet. Make that happen. It's a highlight reel of quarterback sneaks. Go. Make it tricky. Don't include Cam Newton. And the play action pass. Looking for Hansen. No, Tanawara in the corner. Overthrown. And this will push them to third down. The momentum's starting to swing to the Thunder here.
yeah.
Now, obviously, we know how much a touchdown can affect momentum. You played many years in this sport. How much does a goal line stand do to a player's psyche?
It's just such a psychological win. I mean, the offense is pumped. They've got down to within 5 yards of the goal line. For the defense to hold them back, not only does it lift your defense, it lifts your offense as well. So psychologically, it's a real downer for the team that doesn't get there.
We'll go back to that. Strong looking for the corner for McClam. Almost intercepted by
through
Corey
the net.
Jones. That would have taken away at least 3 points off the board. Don't forget, the Rhinos more than happy to kick a field goal. And Jones had the opportunity to take that away from them.
Yeah. So yeah, it lifts the entire team. Obviously, it gives the offense a difficult situation of having to move the ball from within the 5. But the biggest damage it does is the next time that the offense gets the ball after being held out, they're second guessing what they should do.
Well, the Rhinos poo-poo the idea of a field goal. Strong in his receiving core are out there along with Carlton. It will be a pass. He's looking over the middle now to the corner. It's a touchdown to Tanawar. 2 weeks in a row. Tanawar's come up with a miracle tip ball touchdown.
They're obviously practicing that, Kenny.
That was well defended, but that's also why they teach the tip drill.
Johnny on the spot.
And that's 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
He tiptoed the back of the end zone last week.
Yeah, there's rumours circulating that they spend at least 45 minutes every training session on this drill.
Hang on, hold the phone. Flags are down. Well, regardless if it's a touchdown or not, that'll go on the highlight reels. But let's see if that touchdown stands. I'm getting signal from one side, and it is standing. Tanawa has another touchdown to his records. I believe that's his second of the season. And how about that, huh?
Back to their swinging gate. Will they do the shift?
No, they will not.
Yeah, no, they're getting a bit of extra yard, bit of extra exercise for their offensive line. They'll love that.
One of these times, they're going to fake this.
Coach, what are you doing?
They're going to fake it out of this. I just know it. And this one is not the case, though. It's just a straight up PAT. Cock was back into form. And we're looking at 33 points, playing 19. But, jeez. Another shout out to our sponsors, Sporting Globe at Westfield Chermside. You can see their grand final deals at sportingglobe.com.au/grand final. But how about that?
Back to
It's
a
almost a goal
14-point
line
split.
It is, and we almost saw it. We almost saw that psychological win you thought for the defense there. It was defended as best as you could as a defensive back, but unfortunately not everyone was accounted for.
The Rhinos are in the enviable situation of at the moment. The luck is going with them. It has so far this season.
Hang on. We're still talking about flag. Flags are going against the Thunder.
Afraid of hanging that arm out.
Well, the ball's still been kicked off from the 30, so
Thunder have an interesting choice for the first line of defence in the kick return. The formidable Mike Jones there in the first line. Not often you see a man of his stature taking that position.
well, for a second, Nada Togafu was walking off that front line and left a whole lot of space down the left-hand side. And now the penalty is being enforced. And it was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Thunder, and that's marched this kickoff from the 30. Wait, they're marching awfully far. How many USCs were called on that play?
That's 30 yards they've given them. Onside kick, Kenny?
Why wouldn't you?
They'd have to, wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Just put it up in the air and let your athletes compete for it.
Yep.
You know, and if you can, do the ones that bounce off the ground.
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty
you
sure
take
he's
away the
got
fair
that in
catch.
his
awesome.
repertoire.
Because that takes away the fair catch. But that's 30 yards of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties right there. That's 2 unsportsmanlike conducts on the last play, and on a PAT.
Well, I must say, the record, as far as I know, is 45 yards
In
after
GQ?
a PAT, yes. Well, it was
Wow.
actually Gridiron Queensland days. It was the Centurions against the Warriors in Sun Bowl 1990.
Wow. There you go. They're going up high, and it's a fair catch. Smart man. That's Robbie Corcutt with a bit of awareness there.
Animated discussion about referees' interpretations of the rules. 3 15-yard penalties later.
Well, they've done the best possible thing here, the Rhinos. Apart from obviously recovering the onside kick, which I'm surprised they didn't do.
Yeah.
They're going to play defense, and they've pinned them inside their 5.
Yep. Yeah, it's a nice kick. It's a good result. I would have thought they'd kick it a bit shorter to try to get it back. But
With all the onside type. I mean, to be fair, their onside kick attempts for the most part have been out of sneakiness.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
they've tried it, I guess, when it's that obvious. Maybe they'd rather
yeah,
not.
too obvious. Too obvious. It's the Rhinos special teams keeping it real. They don't want to take the soft option. So what can the Thunder do? Again, they're in a 2-touchdown hole that they've pretty much dug for themselves, really.
Well, the last offensive play we saw was a one-play hit to Robbie Corcutt. Let's see if they try that again, but they're going to be careful not to give up a safety here. Ball's on the 9. A little better off than I thought they were. And it's a long bomb again to Donny! Donny had it in the hands!
no.
He would have been gone!
Oh,
The coverage was there by Price. The play call was a beaut. Execution.
absolute shocking spot to be in with the lighting,
not
though.
there.
He would have been looking right back into this back corner. Light would have been in his eyes. That's my excuse.
Being awfully kind to these guys there. And I think
He's still got his pink towel. I'm impressed by that.
impressed or disappointed.
Bit of both.
But you could just see the play there. Darty knew that was a game-changing play there.
Yeah,
And
he'll be very dirty at himself.
that would have been the second time he's gotten open on a wheel route.
Yeah.
Play action pass. They're trying to hit Corcutt on the flat route. He'll go up against Johnny Nico. Nico will ride him out of bounds, but Corcutt picks up a first down.
He covered a hell of a lot of ground to get there on that previous play.
Oh, he's got some... We saw those long legs. And look at the way he turns from a blocker into a receiver.
Nice.
Yeah, Ernest Moore thinks he set him up for an awesome spin move. Little did he know.
About 4.5 minutes left in the third.
Thereabouts.
Still anyone's game. Very cliche, but that's the case.
It is the case, indeed. Corkett now split out wide. Moody inside him. Pope outside of him. And forced to step up and throw over the top. He's trying to get it to Pope. And Tomboy on the coverage.
He's just trying to push things a little bit too much. Again, that was throwing into double coverage.
Do like the way he climbed the pocket, though.
Well, I think he stepped up into a huge lane. He could have just kept running and we could have got 5-6 yards pretty easily. Sometimes the safe option is the best option.
33 points, plays 19. With about 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And a play action pass here. He's forced to drop back, throws off his back foot, cops the shot.
Okay.
And the pass falls incomplete. The Rhinos are trying to claim that's intentional grounding because there was no receiver there and Corwin was definitely still in the pocket. So there is a case to be made for intentional grounding.
I'd be happy to let that one go. There was a receiver going across on a crossing pattern. Easy enough to argue it was just a crappy pass. I don't know if it was or it wasn't, but easy enough to argue it. Especially given the body position he was in when he threw it.
Well, no penalty on that
Certainly
one.
if I was quarterbacking, that would be the case because a lot of my passes look like intentional grounding, but they were just really crappy passes.
Oh, you're not alone there, mate. I watched GQ and the Naughties as well. And a blitz, no, it's a screen. Darty's got it this time
Darty,
with a
bit of
convoy.
redemption.
Darty tries to pull a spin move. It's a good tackle. And I think that is Price on the tackle there.
The fairy tale ending.
Look at Liam Hunter go. He misses the block, but still I like the effort. Had a chance to light up Goss and Kaniki right there. That's what linemen dream of, laying out safeties. What are you doing, Liam?
It all happened so fast. Darty would have been hoping for a bit of redemption on that play.
He would have been.
But on the screen, 80 yards, but it wasn't to be.
Couldn't quite pick up the first down in there. We've got 4th and 3. Here comes Corkett, who's been punching pretty well tonight. He's back to punt.
Again, 2 touchdowns down. Do you kick it to this guy? Do you kick it to the sideline? I'm saying he's going to go to the sideline. He's going to go.
Is that an intentional fake? Regardless, the Rhinos come up with a huge play. I thought last time he took a little bit of time. I understand the logic. You're trying to get your players downfield, but jeez. Wow.
Yeah, that's a misstep.
We don't quite catch it on that angle, but I'm intrigued to know about whether that was supposed to be a fake or whether he just let that go.
It didn't look designed. He doesn't have the speed to be doing this sort of thing. He had 4 guys absolutely sweating on him.
Well, they've just gifted the Rhinos with a potential 3 here.
Yeah.
Calishaw now in as a tight end. 3 receivers out to the left. And keep it, and it's Strong who's kept it. And he's got a receiver on the flat. It's Tanawa, and Tanawa fights for the first down.
He really ripped that pass in, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a fascinating play call, isn't it? That sort of talk about the RPO offense. That's a great example of it right there.
It's just such a strange game, Gridiron. Yeah, the wheels can just fall off in a matter of a couple of series.
McClam still in the tailback. He's in motion. Will they throw it to him in the flat? Yes, they will. They'll try to get him in open space. He uses a stiff arm to beat Phil Carr. Now cuts back inside. He's going to break his way into the end zone. How did he do that?
Too easy.
It seemed like a pretty basic play, and you're lost for words, Fernley.
Look, Kenny, when a guy goes out and plays without knee pads covering his knees, he gets that extra couple of yards of speed, and it's obviously working very well for Jarvis.
Oh I'm going to leave that one right there. I'll leave that one right there. Oh, the audience will have fun with that one.
Can we get a zoom in on those uncovered knees? That's the secret.
Oh,
You young up-and-coming athletes at home, that's
the
the secret.
DNT's good.
Don't cover those knees.
And we'll take a look at the replay once more. And
I'd like to add, I'm not trying to be controversial.
you
Just
don't
an
need to
observation.
try.
Just an observation.
Someone tells me the Rhinos might be getting a phone call this week. Just a reminder of some of the uniform policy.
I'd like to have all our players looking their best. Get those knees covered. Well, that is a huge blow, obviously, to the Thunder's chances of winning this game.
40 points, 19 now. Looking at a 21-point difference. 3 touchdowns.
Let's just hope we don't see a blowout, Ken.
Yeah, well, look.
That would be a very disappointing end to this game.
Yeah, especially after the first half we had.
Yep.
The Thunder still have the possibility of being the first team to keep the Rhinos under 50 points this season.
Big call at 40 points.
And a full quarter to go,
Quarter and a bit
and
to
then
go.
some.
It was looking that way. It was going to be that way, but yeah, they just lost their way.
Eddie Cockwood didn't have a whole lot of time in the huddle, so one would be under the impression that this will just be drilled down the middle to Pope once more.
Yeah, they're not being as quite as entertaining as they have been in previous weeks with their kickoffs. It's a nice big kick.
It is deep. It forces Pope all the way back to his own in goal, and there's blocks up front for him now. He's
gone
once
right
again going to
again.
the right-hand side. Thought he had a bit of space out to the left, ironically, this time.
Yeah.
So the kickoff unit for the Rhinos has been a strong point today. Gosson Kaniki
He's got
and Carlton. Kaniki's been around this football in every way, shape and form, and we're a little off with our timer there. That's the end of the third quarter. We're moving into the fourth and final of week 5. Now what's interesting, we see number 14 in the Rhinos warming up with the ball. He's been throwing back with the center as well. That's backup quarterback. We saw him play in the Colts game.
Yep.
Looks like he might be getting an opportunity to possibly finish this game out for the Rhinos later this quarter.
Well, it'd be great to see him out there. Had a really nice game in the Colts performance before this.
You could trust him with the second half. Bradford started the first half.
Threw some
and
nice balls, threw a lovely slant for a touchdown for the Colts.
there was,
He's actually
Dix.
not on the list. Good to see these Colts guys getting a bit of time in the seniors game.
Yeah, it will be number 14, Riley Dix.
Huge work for their confidence.
I do appreciate that Eddie Corker, the kicker of the Rhinos, has got the green boots, so it almost feels like they're designated kicking boots.
Oh, look, I think they're the magic boots, Kenny. Guess you got a little something special sprinkled on them before the game. Joe Tuimavavi and Mitchell Wong still on the sidelines.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Wong jump on the field yet. So I've seen Joe on a couple of plays, but haven't say the same for Mitchell Wong. Corwin, he's got plenty of time, but now we'll take off, and we take him down behind the line of scrimmage. Mark that up as a sack. Don't mark that up as a sack because it was half a yard gained.
No. Yes, that what he thought was a hole closed very, very rapidly.
Ernest Moore in the stop there.
Well, obviously, you know, if you're the guys you got on the field doing the job on defense, again, the job done as well as the Rhinos are. You know, why make changes? I mean, you don't win games by handing out popularity awards. So.
Late interchange there. Now Darty will get an opportunity at the
Oh,
gun.
he goes.
Why haven't we seen more of this?
Nice little game, though.
Still trying to emulate the first carry he took of the game. I thought they could just stick to that a bit, just generic inside zone.
Yeah.
They tried to get a little bit cute with it later in the game, but we haven't seen a whole lot of just direct handoffs to Darty. They're still fighting the Thunder. Do they think this game is done? Corwin, flanked by 2 backs now. Pope's one of those. Pope will knock at the ball. Corwin will just push his lineman forward, and he'll pick up close to a first down. Looking at the chains, yes. I think see it better on this angle. He picks up the first on that play.
It's a nice play from Tommy. Very, very poor work from his offensive lineman. Number 70, Hiram Alofipo, having a little bit of a snooze there in the middle of the play.
They need him to work. He's one of their most experienced and talented linemen.
Tommy giving a reminder that things are still going.
1st and 10. And again, rolling out to his left is Corwin, rotates his body.
Oh,
Hits Corkett in the arm, but Corkett
would have been a magical catch.
A little behind Robbie Corkett. Is that a gold mouthpiece to Sebastian Gordon? I think it is. Jeez, never seen that before. Look at that. Fancy.
The Rhinos now running with 2 deep safeties.
Yeah, move to a cover 2 themselves.
Point of the game, obviously seeing that the passing game is the #1 threat for them at this stage. Oh, nice play from the Thunder.
Well, ironically, what that allows the Thunder to do is run some of those short plays and these screen plays because you've got less people in the front third of the field.
Near the line of scrimmage, yeah. And that's what they need to do, Ken. They just need chip away.
But it's hard to do that now when you're trailing
They
by
got
21
10 minutes,
points.
21, 3 touchdowns. If they can eat up 3 minutes of the clock at a time.
And I think
The biggest enemy is trying to stop the Rhinos' offense, of course. And
Leon Moody has actually just left the field with a bit of an injury. Let's see if he comes back. He looks okay. He's adjusting now. Maybe it's just off our play. And going downfield was a Thunder player. And that pass was almost intercepted. Now, here's something interesting. A player who's not playing today, who I gave a rap in pregame, not realising he obviously was scratched, so did he get any indication of that, is Tristan Back. And Tristan Back is wide receiver Tristan Back, who I spoke to Tommy this morning. Obviously didn't want to give me anything because he well and truly talked about Tristan as if he was playing tonight. And
yep.
It doesn't seem to be the case. And you can imagine he was another player who's got plenty of speed. He would have helped stretch this
it's not bad when you can drop a receiver like that and still have an amazing receiving career to back up.
Corwin quickly out to the finds Corkett. Oh, and a huge hit from Parnell, which makes it even more impressive that Corkett held on.
He did very well to hold on to that.
He got decleated. Boom. Oh, it's going to be one of the biggest hits in GQ this season. Eddie, onto it.
It's the power of the no-covered knees.
And he's down now. They might have taken injury time out here because he's still sorting himself out. Let's take a look at this frame by frame. You see the pursuit there, and he was prepping for it.
Just needed to get a little bit lower up underneath those ribs for the full impact effect. But nice hit.
Well,
excellent job from the receiver.
Hitting him where he did, because he is shorter than him. It just set those legs flying in the air, really upended him. But you can see the wisdom of Corkett there. He knew he was going to lay a hit. You can see him prepping for the hit, and that's why he holds on to the football.
Good work.
But regardless, put Parnell on the highlight reel. What a shot. Short pass out now.
Good catch.
It's a nice snag out of the air. Who was that? That's number 96. That's Kyo Silver, I believe.
Yeah.
He picks up a good first down.
This is a nice drive from the Thunder, but this is what I'm talking about. They need to chew up the clock a bit on this drive, just to take a bit of time off the clock, get some points on the board, then they need to hold the Rhinos, and then there should be enough time left to score 2 quick touchdowns.
2 more, that's true.
But they can't just go out there and fire out and score 3 quick touchdowns because the Rhinos will just keep coming back. And
Pope in the slot. Coleman looking for Pope, pulls it back, and he's taken down. With a lot of offensive linemen just standing around him. Had to pull that pass back in.
They've just stopped. They've just given up. They gave him a lovely pocket and then just stopped.
I think
you can't afford to do that 21 points down.
Corey Jones was on for a couple of reps on wide receiver. Second down now. He took on a couple of reps while Leon Moody took a short break. Now he's back out as your near side wide receiver, just out of frame right now. Here goes Corn, looking underneath.
Mike Jones.
Picks up a short Jones. Now the Jones twins both coming in and getting some reps on wide receiver. Off goes Corey, in comes Mike. Another of those players unfamiliar with the wide receiver position. Some would argue that's their better position.
They've pretty much played all over the field. Mike's got a bit of QB experience too.
Indeed. Started against the Ravens last year in week 11. Sean Darty in the backfield. He's looking to his left, almost intercepted. Good coverage.
Is that Johnny? He swooped on that. Yeah, Johnny Nico swooped
Seemed like
on
a
that.
Nico play. And, yep, it is number 5, Johnny Nico. And I've got to refrain from even attempting the idea of calling him Jonathan. His name on his birth certificate is Johnny.
Ah, okay. Good to know. It's pretty luxurious when you can already have a dominating team and then Johnny Nico arrives on your doorstep.
Exactly. Corwin on 4th down. Can he complete?
Yes!
Yes, he can! Wow! Mike Jones on the play. And the flags are on the field. Will it be for celebration? Come on.
Well, it shouldn't be because they didn't delay getting the ball to the official, but
Some would argue that this play here will go out of his way of getting rid of it. He missed a layup anyway.
yeah, that was a bit
Maybe that's
embarrassing.
the issue.
I'd say that's what got the
He
flag.
missed a layup. There it is. Dunk it next time,
Ball
Jonesy.
not clearing the crossbar.
Well, there it is. My co-commentator from a couple weeks ago, scoring a crucial touchdown for the Thunder while spelling in a wide receiver. It is a touchdown. After the touchdown, Osborne's line contact, number 5. Who needs one from this? I got it covered.
Well, that's disappointing. I wouldn't have thought that
So-
was
The brass side touchdown will stand.
warranted a flag. But take that up to the officials later.
No, especially when you see what the NFL's doing nowadays, right?
Yeah. Sure, they'll have something to say to me about that. Like, piss off,
Try to tell Star 80 not to celebrate after a touchdown. PAT is blocked.
Keep going, boys. Keep
Combo
going.
style, they
What's
can keep playing. You're
There
right
he
there,
dives
and
on it.
they get on it.
Well, you may as well just kick it out if you're going to dive on it.
Yeah, you're just putting yourself at risk of injury. But, well, that makes things somewhat easily. At some point, you might even consider going for the 2 points.
25, that's 15 points.
So, at some point, they'll be forced to go for a 2-point conversion if they can hold the Rhinos from scoring. Still plenty of
Well,
time,
you'd have
7
to go
minutes.
for 2 points both times, wouldn't you?
Technically not.
Try to get the win.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. That's true. Okay, there's no overtime in regular season.
Certainly, it's probably not going to harm their chances trying to go for the win. If they do lose by 1 point, and that's
Well, they might have to.
it's not going to affect their situation on the ladder a great deal.
There's a couple blocks now, so they're definitely going to have to revisit a bit of PAT practice. And training, I'm imagining.
Well, the Jones boys have been traditionally very good with their PAT success rate. So obviously, they just need the work up front to fix those problems a little bit better. Get the 15 yards marched off on the kick.
Sportsmanlike conduct. I'll be sure to bring that up next time he steps in the commentary booth with me.
Don't mention the crossbar.
It's interesting though, because I've seen teammates before spike it, and as long as another teammate goes up and grabs it and brings it back to the referee, wasn't it drama?
Generally, as the ball, the rule states that if the ball is delayed getting back to the official appreciably, then it's a flag. But it just
Oh, it's a new kicker now.
Doing
Oh
what
no,
Mike
sorry,
did.
Thunder, same kicker.
it's a
Silver.
nice kick.
Oh, but it's safely in the hands of McClam. McClam's got a block. Now he's got the edge. Can he cut it back? He's still in the field to play. Goose steps his way.
Yeah, that's a penalty.
And the cop's a shot, and he's down.
Oh, no flag.
And, well, I don't know. He's not moving, but I think that's just playing a bit of possum.
That's again,
No
that's
flag.
just a drama school.
Let's see how close
No,
or
I
how far
would
out he
have
was.
flagged that one.
Yeah, well, I think it's something with a kicker. If you actively, a returner or a receiver or any ball carrier, if you actively step out, then
Got a flag.
you kind of earn the right of not to be hit.
Yeah.
You know, so you
There was well and truly plenty of time for that guy to pull out of that hit then. He's kept that shoulder going and just drilled it. It wasn't a huge hit, but it's enough to
Warranted a
flag.
penalty. I mean, you're not
Just lacking discipline, Kenny.
you're not protected from the certain abuse that may come from a sideline, particularly if you run out of the bounds on opposition sideline.
But again, look,
Yeah,
excellent work from Jarvis on that.
Yeah, he can show that he can.
He
0
certainly,
to 60
tried
awfully
to milk
quickly.
that for all it was worth.
I thought he died.
What's happening with this penalty? If anything, I think the Rhino sideline's been a bit quiet tonight, Ken.
Well,
They've been overly vocal.
it's been vocal at moments.
Considering, a good half of them haven't really done anything except stand on the sideline, you'd think they'd have enough energy to make a bit more noise.
It's hard work being a cheerleader. But what's interesting is when will if Riley Dix will get an opportunity? 7 minutes in, obviously that's probably still a bit too early, and maybe they'll just save the last drive for him.
And there's the penalty assessed on the late hit. Not quite sure who ended up throwing that flag. I think it might have been Justin Burke,
Quite possibly.
the
He
back judge.
did seem the most animated and talking to the white hat.
The sideline official wanted nothing to do with it.
Clam in motion. They'll give it to him. They'll break some tackles, use his footwork,
that's a touchdown.
and get in for one of the easiest looking touchdowns of the day.
What was that you were saying about 50 points?
Well, they're only one score away from it now.
Yeah.
Another touchdown on the ground to McClam.
Nice block there from the offensive line to open that hole up. Who's that big man in the middle for the Rhinos? I think it was actually 76 on that play.
6.
76.
Coombs.
I don't have a 76.
Well, we see
Yeah,
him
there
right
he
there.
goes.
I think he's
Lovely
got
work.
Coombs in the back.
Who
Good
is
drive
that
block.
man?
Well, there's Coombs on his jersey, so that's the name we'll go with. As
Coombsy.
Cockwa. He adds another PAT. And another flag on the field as we once again thank our sponsors at the Sporting Globe Westfield Chermside. Check out their grand final office, sportingglobe.com.au/grand final. And while we're here, another thank you to Impact Sports. If you're in need of gridiron gear, there's fewer places better to find it than Impact Sports. Email them at sales@impactsportsaus.com. Well, they must have heard that your sideline wasn't very loud, the Rhinos, because they've upped up ever
Yeah,
since.
we're whipping it up now.
I'm not sure they realise they're on live stream. There's a bit of love for some of the Rhino supporters.
That's probably some of the best moves I've seen all night.
I don't know, McClam's has busted up some pretty big plays.
It's only because he's got his knees uncovered, Kenny.
Justin Burke showing off an arm.
Again, the Thunder line up for a kick return. Will this be the one where they break it open and get 6 points?
I just think if he goes to the left, he's got a shot.
Well, it would certainly change things up, wouldn't it? He's been consistently sticking to that right-hand side of the field. Could be a good spot for a reverse on the kickoff, Kenny.
Well, they've only got one returner back there, so usually if you're going to do that, you back yourself with 2. It's an all quick, they'll put them down the side of the field, and we'll see none of it. It will be a touchback. Well, let's see what gas the Thunder has left in the tank. Trailing 47-25.
Oh, it's just over 6.5 to go, approximately.
I think that whole idea of chipping underneath might be out of the window now. If they legitimately want a chance to come back there, if they've mentally conceded defeat, they're going to have to go vertical.
Bombs away, Kenny.
I think so.
We know Tommy's got the arm to do it. He's neglected Leon Moody a little bit.
Just a little bit, hasn't he? This is going for
Which
him
is
early.
surprising.
Well, I think he's also
Given
he's been
Leon's
mocked
pedigree.
up, but he's also been mocked up by Parnell. So Take that as you will. What a grab!
Lovely play.
And he's got some moves going down the middle. That's Silva. That pass zinged into there. You could hear it from the commentary booth.
That was a nice play. Good pass, good catch.
He put everything behind this
Good
throw.
run after
Boom.
the catch.
That brings him past halfway. Ball in the 44, which is effectively 1 yard into Rhino territory. Tommy Corwin hits Moody. Moody shakes the first defender, can't beat Moore, but it's a good game on first down.
So I've obviously seen some of the Rhinos college boys playing a fair bit of both ways tonight. So Coach Booker seems to be very much focused on having his best players on the field as much as possible, at the expense of perhaps backup players.
Yeah, we just saw a flag being thrown in late. It was holding on the Thunder, so that'll wipe out that game. And you're right, you think at some point they'll start rotating the backups. I'm probably just as surprised as you are that they haven't done it so far, but maybe...
47-25 on the board. I mean, unless their backups are basically playing with one leg and one arm, why wouldn't you? Gives them an opportunity to get in the game.
Corwin now. Corwin looking for Darty in the flat. Tano Vasa corrals him, takes him down. Tano Vasa knows Franklin Oval well. Travels a bunch of it there and takes down Darty.
I'd just like to see some of these boys on the sideline that are obviously, especially now, on a nice cool night at West Mitchelton. It's probably not the ideal time to put them into the game for the first time, but at least they get an opportunity to butt heads for a little bit.
I think so. Corwin, the pass rush is on, but the protection's good. Corwin's directing traffic, he sails it.
It's a duck, and that would have been...
Incomplete. Price on the coverage. I think that is Pope, the intended receiver on the play.
Could have almost argued an offensive pass interference then, with the receiver coming back and trying to go through the defender to catch the ball. We're not going to see it. Possibly lucky to get away with that one.
Oh, now we've got 3rd and 19.
She had a mountain of time. 50-50 call.
I think a no call was the right call. 3rd and 19. Obviously 2 down territory for the Thunder now, so they don't have to get it all back in one play. Corwin drops back, throws to the sideline, doesn't have enough pepper on it. He's trying to hit Silver, it falls well flat.
Ball possibly getting a little bit dusty now, Kenny.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty churned up in the middle of the field there, right where they are.
Well, Franklin Oval's been through a full rugby league season now. They had some finals here as well last week, I believe. So
Field's holding up pretty well, especially historically. It's been a bit of a dust bowl at times.
well, we've had a bit of rain in recent weeks.
Oh, you have had some rain down
Just
here.
the tiniest bit. So maybe that was enough to keep it green for a little longer. Obviously, come playoff time, this Mitchelton, a bit famous for its inability to hold up.
Yeah.
And well punted, hey?
He just
Tommy Corwin punt, his second of the
out
day.
the backfield.
And it'll be downed there by Moody.
One of the Thunder
Pope.
sideline advising the players to get on it. Sound advice given the situation.
Ends up being a good punt, though. It brings them inside the 20, so
Nice game.
it sounds like the Thunder might
The Rhinos will be
accepted
shooting
their
for
fate.
their 50 to keep
streak alive.
their numbers up. I dare say that would be something of a record going into what next week will be the 5th round, is that right? The team getting 50 plus every game at this stage of the season.
For 5 straight games.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about the year the Stingrays had Matt Bassiner at quarterback, the USA quarterback. And I know they were putting up some big numbers
Yeah.
that week. that
Well,
year.
he
So.
came in late in 2012.
I will argue that this is possibly the best open as Christian Strong chooses to add to that to Hansen.
Oh.
Hansen tries to look over his shoulder. It's a bit too much, incomplete. But I think I'm just going to call it because I can. I think this is going to be the strongest offensive open of any Gridiron Queensland men's team. And of course,
I think you're right.
I think we'll say offensive open. A lot of those touchdowns were defensive and special teams touchdowns as well. But we'll call points scored. It's got to be considered the most in recent GQ memory at least.
Yep, for sure.
And the phone buzz, I thought it might have been someone trying to correct me already. Until proven otherwise, I stand correct. Another long
There
bomb.
he
This one to
goes.
Cheyenne James. Cheyenne James tried to get a flag. He was covered by Mike Jones. Andrew Stock gives a clear
Coverage
no
was,
call.
coverage was fine.
And I've got some referees nearby and coaches disagreeing with that call.
Bit of controversy. I'd put that down as good DB coverage myself.
Call one in Clements on the far side of the Thunder sideline. I don't know if we've got a shot of it. They're talking as much offensive football as they can squeeze into the next 4:57. Cool's been very direct.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there was 2 long bombs and back-to-back plays, 3rd and 10. What's Christian Strong got? He's going to have to wait. We've got a flag.
Delay of game, Ken?
Possibly.
Had to be, wouldn't it?
I think so. I didn't see any shifts, substitutions. So
Delay game.
I just want to give Gary Kendall a bit of a shout out. He's been
Full start.
Oh, there you go. Gary Kendall's been on point with the flag markers, the on-screen flag markers this game.
Oh, he's very experienced.
3rd and 15. And now Cheyenne James in the flat. They'll throw short on 3rd down. They'll stop him well short of the first down marker. The Rhinos. They'll send out Gordon to punt.
Again, a fairly ambitious play call at 3rd and 15.
It almost felt backwards the way they ran that. They ran 2 long bombs and then the short
And then
pass.
short
Most
one when
teams
they
would think
need
it the
the
other way
length.
around.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, can't say they're not mixing it up.
And back where they started for a 4th down punt. I don't think we'll see any fakes here, Ken.
Gordon, let's see what he's got with the boot. He's been good defensively. Punt is up.
It's a nice torpy.
Good one. It's caught on the full by Pope. Pope loves that sideline. He's going to try and get there. Can't get a whole lot more.
He had so much acreage out on the right-hand side, and he's just tried to sneak it up a very skinny left-hand sideline.
Ryan Glasson.
He had Mike Jones out here ready to block for it.
Just check out 56 here. Just Ryan Glasson took exception to that by Daniel Wenban there, and then someone's tried to come up and milk it, and he's just pointed at the scoreboard. All class, Ryan Glasson.
He's had a very quiet game, actually, Chris Pope, tonight. He had a huge game against the Stingrays a couple of weeks ago.
Who?
Chris Pope has had a quiet game.
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah,
He
he's
had a
been
huge game
shut
against the Stingrays, but he hasn't really been kept very quiet tonight.
It has been all, but I know Parnell has been shadowing a lot of the number 1 receiver tonight, but
Well, I
also
think
Lugo on
Gonzalo
the other side.
Lugo, yeah,
has done
against-
an outstanding job as well. So, for the Spanish audience, that's your man there, Gonzalo Lugo. First and 10. Luke Corwin and the Thunder wide receivers got left. Corwin pump fakes. He's looking over to the left-hand side. Now he's got double coverage with Nico over the top and Parnell underneath. And now a flag's been thrown after the pass fell incomplete.
Well, they had single coverage on the right-hand side. Chris Pope was open on the post out.
Nico almost picks that off. Well, I'm seeing the Thunder players trying to signal their players to come up forward. They're not suggesting that's defensive belay. Yeah, it is. They're going to call DPI on that. Claiming that Pope did not get a fair chance at the ball.
Well, Pope was on the right-hand side.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I'm not sure who it was over on the left.
Number 6, Chris Pope, you sure?
No, he was on the right.
Maybe it was Mike Jones there
running
in the single digits.
Post out.
5 and 6 with these red on black numbers, all very similar.
It was number 7.
Oh, was it Moody?
Yeah,
There you go.
Moody.
Everyone
There
going
you go.
back.
There's Pope on the out, and he's
Nice.
going underneath, which is a good call. He read
Silver.
that nicely.
And Silver makes the grab.
The play before that, they came up on the short guy, and Pope was open on the post out.
Still willing to take what the defense has given him. They picked
Yeah.
up a first down on that play.
There's no doubt about it. The Thunder have looked sharp at times, but at other times they've just lost their way a little bit.
And a minute 30 left in this game. As we see, Corwin under pressure, throws
Yes.
one and completes it. And it's a bit of a dual possession there, as long as. Wait a minute. Well, in a dual possession, offense gets the ball, but the ball was taken away quickly from Andrew Stockley.
And that was on that post out again. They basically run that play 3 or 4 times in a row, and then they finally nailed it to Chris Pope. Lovely, great catch.
Well, who's that? Price did a good job to almost take it away from him, though.
Yeah.
First and goal. Corwin looking to the flat. Now will throw to nobody. He was trying to get it
We got
to.
a flag out on the right-hand side. Could be a pass interference call on the other side of the field.
Just confirming that.
Well, Thunder desperately trying to get themselves into the end zone to get another 6 points at least on the board. Take it to 47-31.
I call that
Slightly more
defensive holding.
respectable.
It's probably why-
The defensive holding by the cornerback out here on the.
You could argue that's why Pope couldn't get to the corner there. Just another fun fact, though. The Thunder want some more win to take out of this, assuming they could score here as well. At 25 points, they already have scored the most out of any team on the Rhinos this season. The Bayside Ravens previously held that at 20.
And that's what I mean. It comes back to the fact that at times they've done some really, really good things, but
Another
at
flag.
times they've done some really, really dumb things. But it's interesting, though, that the turning point for this game, if you look at the score situation, was that botched onside kick they took at 13 all. It all went downhill from there.
Rhinos taking a time out here. But even then, they came close there. But early in the second half, the Rhinos got a couple of back-to-back scores.
Yep.
That really was the margin, I guess. The buffer that was created by the Rhinos that they've held on since.
Yeah, it's hard to peg back 2 scores against the Rhinos defence. There's always going to be a tall order.
Well, the timeout's been called. We'll use that opportunity once again to check out the Sporting Globe at Westfield Chermside. You can see all their grand final offers at sportingglobe.com.au/grand final. And let's look ahead to next week. Week 6 is going to be played at Griffith University for the first time in 2018. On the 22nd of September, you'll see the women's division back on display. The Griffith University Thunder taking on the Raptors Gridiron from 1:30, and at the corrected time at 4 p.m, the men's comp. We're going to see the Griffith University Thunder once again taking on the Bayside Ravens, who we haven't seen since week 2.
Very much a game to look forward to. Both those games, but especially the men's game. The Ravens have been travelling pretty well up against the Thunder.
Yeah, well, that'll be another close matchup that
Be a
everyone will see.
brave man to pick the winner of that one, Kenny, at
Well,
this
exactly
stage.
right, because I think the Thunder now have possibly made a claim that they could be team number 2.
Yeah,
and
for
I think
sure.
we'll only have to wait a week to see how much truth rings to that, because right now it feels like the Ravens and Thunder are battling out for number 2. And then the Stingrays in their current state are sitting probably at 4th.
Yes. Very much a token 4th position based on their current form.
Corwin looking for the corner route. What a grab! What a grab!
To channel Phil Gould, Kenny, stop it.
And that was Chris Pope. using his entire 6-foot frame to stretch out for that
Hey,
one.
someone must have got the message to him. I'd said he had a quiet night. And then the next thing, he's pulling out stuff like that.
Try to silence that. I know it's probably academic at this point, but still worthy of that reel. Nice grab. Only need 1 foot in. And this PAT, it's up, it deflected, and deflected out to the
missed
left.
another one, Ken.
So that'll be added to the practice schedule this week.
I think this this game alone will just totally destroy Mike Jones's percentages.
Is it Mike Jones putting it up?
Oh, is he the
Or is
holder?
it Silver?
Sorry?
Yeah, he's the holder. I think it's
Okay.
Silver with the kicks. Well, their chance to still be the one team to keep the Rhinos under 50 is still alive. And on top of that, they've put 30 on them. So
Look, at the risk of sounding patronising, they've done really well to. I mean, they had a chance at winning the game, but it's just disappointing. They're going to come away with a loss. But as you say, it can take away from the fact that they've got 31 points.
well, what it is doing is really wetting our lips for next week's game.
Yes,
The,
very much so.
I think Thunder in the men's division between the Ravens and the Thunder. You know, Ben Stokes is probably still a couple of weeks away. He was here tonight, not for
Yeah,
still
he
is.
was,
So,
And look, it's
Impressive.
created a bit more interest in the competition. It could be argued prior to this game that the Rhinos were just going to run away with it, and no one was going to match them or stay close to them. But the Thunder have proved tonight that they're capable of doing that. So it certainly makes the competition a lot more interesting. And then after next week's game, we'll have a little clearer idea of where number 2 and 3 are sitting compared to each other.
yeah, it really pushes us pretty much. Well, week 6 is effectively the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, well, by this time, the team should have sorted out their rosters. They know what their strengths are, know what their weaknesses are.
had a
They're
chance
pretty
to
much
see
settled
everybody.
on a roster, and that's a nice kick, and that's going to be dive on the ball.
Oh, there's going to be a fight for it. This is classic stuff. It's still going. This pile has actually moved as well. Thunder believes they have it. Rhino, I haven't seen a Rhino player suggest they do. This could be a Thunder recovery. No one's celebrating.
Old mate forgets he's got a helmet on here for a second.
Well, you see there, I thought the Rhinos had it there, but I think it's stripped out and lost, and who knows what happens at the bottom of some of these piles. I don't think it's as bad as it once was, personally.
I can't comment. Can you? Stayed away from those big piles.
Well, they're arguing about. I think one of the conversations will be: did the down player have possession at one point because his knee was down, so that constitutes it's over? But
Yeah, but did he have possession though?
I think that's what they're going to argue. Now, have I seen a flag thrown? There's actually multiple flags thrown back near the 20 and 30
so
yard
they're all
line.
offside anyway.
There's plenty of. Yeah, I think offside might be the call. Good call.
Good call, Kenny.
Eventually, it only took me 2 minutes to get there.
It's going to make all this moot, or as my friend Adam Hennessy would
Oh,
suggest,
Hanno?
not mute.
I'm sure Hanno might be tuning in
Well, of course he is.
if he's not on a boat
He
somewhere.
would have heard on the grapevine that I was commenting. He would have dropped everything to listen in. I'm sure.
Find a way to get Wi-Fi on one of his boats.
Yes. Rhinos ball. So they still have an opportunity to get that extra 3 points. I don't think we'll see any kneeling. Oh, yeah, they are
there
going to
it
kneel
is.
it out. Oh, that's
There it is.
a bit of a classy move.
It is indeed. And all of a sudden, from the Ravens balcony, I've just heard, "Oh, boo!"
Well, I don't think they need to extend their for and against a great deal. So
And I think it's a very respectable move.
Yeah,
It's
it
proving
is.
that they're not wanting to risk anything to a worthy opposition. And there is the ball being raised. We have full time here, and whilst the final quarter blew out a little bit, we were still treated to a fantastic game.
We were.
And display of football.
Yep, very entertaining game, Kenny.
We saw plenty of offense. We saw what the Thunder does, and more we're getting a clearer picture of where this Thunder team stands in the Power 4 rankings, as I'll dub it. But once again, the Rhinos a bit too classy, a bit too skilled, and a bit too much firepower on that offense side of the ball. Well, we'll take a final look at next week's game. Remind you, next week, 22nd of September, Saturday, as always, from 1:30, we will be broadcasting out of the Griffith University Fields at Nathan. Griffith University Thunder taking on the Raptors. And at 4 p.m, the Griffith University Thunder taking on the Bayside Ravens. It's been a fantastic game. We appreciate you tuning in, whether it was for both games today or just this latter game here between the Rhinos and the Thunder. Appreciate your company as always. Justin Fairley, appreciate you driving down from Bundy, mate.
Oh, my pleasure, Kenny. I'm glad to be a part of it all.
And I'm glad we could give you a good game.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us once more. We hope you join us next week. Big thank you to our sponsors at Sporting Globe once again and Impact Sports. We hope to see you next time.
Get him up. Get him up, get him up. Funny how you choose and pick your battles, dude. Keep saying you number one, but I'm on top, yo, it's done. Dropping styles like napalm, fake rappers think they so strong. Verses full of hype and always ready for a fight. Spontaneous, magnanimous, cause they can't get close enough to run with us. If you wanna battle, get it hard, get it raw. No emotions, I shake you until your chains fall off. What? Large, in charge, I set the bar high. You running with the big boys now, get up, don't cry.